Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello, everyone.
What up, everybody? Perfect
Bill
timing.
361 public comment will be taken today.
Perfect time. They
both
just
via
started.
teleconference and in person here in the John Ferraro Council chambers. If I could ask everybody to please bring their conversation level down a bit so we can get to work.
It's good to see you guys.
Madam Clerk,
welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Blumenfield, De Leon,
Good morning.
Harris Dawson, Hernandez.
Oh, there's a
Hart,
whole bunch of
Pretorian,
people in
Lee,
there.
McCosker,
Oh, let's get
Hart,
loud.
Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of March 21st,
The
2023.
quorum's in effect.
Councilmember Harris Dawson moves. Councilmember Price seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Park moves. Councilmember Lee seconds. Next.
Mr. President, would council like all
Let me
items
get my
to
bong
go forward
ready.
with today?
Yes,
Fresh and
please.
clean.
And if we could go ahead and run through the agenda. Without
Thank you.
objection, all items will be
He's
put
there
forward.
every day, but he usually
Thank you.
doesn't
There
come
is
in
also a
till the
request
end,
to refer
Bako.
Item 29 to the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee.
He ain't got the guts.
Without objection, that'll be the order.
Items 1 through 3 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 4 through 15 are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 16
Guys,
through
I'm going to go run in
28
the
are
other
items for
room
which
really
public
quickly and
hearings
grab
have not
the
been
other
held.
weed.
Items 30 through 35
right
are
back.
closed session items considered by the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee. 10 votes are required for consideration.
All right. Without objection, those items are now before us. Do members have any items that they would like to call special among those? Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to call item 6 for special for comments and request that item 34 remain in closed session. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Park.
Good morning, Council President. I would like to call item 8 special for amendment and remarks. The city attorney has a copy of the amendment and it's being circulated.
Very good. Could you go ahead and read the amendment, please, Mr.
Yes.
Fauble?
Thank you.
got my
So,
weed.
the amendment
I got my
is to
cat
adopt
stalking me.
the
I got my
recommendations
cat
I'm
stalking
about to read
me.
out in lieu of the
Yes,
recommendations in the
he
committee
is.
report. So,
I got my
authorize the
cat
general
stalking
manager,
me.
Los Angeles
I got my
Housing
cat
Department,
stalking
LAHD,
me.
or designate
yeah,
to
there
A,
he is. He's
increase the
stalking me.
AMI limits in Proposition
See him out there?
HHH-funded veterans projects to 50% AMI as needed and determined by the LAHD. B, increase the AMI limits in Prop HHH-funded veteran projects to 60% AMI as needed and determined by the LAHD and is requested by the borrower. Amend the unit designation from, quote, supportive housing unit to, quote, affordable housing unit, and reduce the amount of Proposition HHH loan amount accordingly. And finally, C, modify the terms of loan documents and execute all necessary documents to reflect such modifications, subject to the approval of the city attorney as to form, presented by you, and as I understand it, Councilmember Yaroslavsky as well. And we need a second, and Ms. Rodriguez is the second. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McCosker.
Yeah, he's
Need a
stalking
motion
me.
For item number 11.
Indeed, I do. So the amendment is as follows. Replace controller's instructions reflected in attachment 1 of the 2022
Just creeping on me right
fourth
now.
CPR addendum dated March 9, 2023 for item B, Marafundi/Robert Pitt Center in its entirety as needed to address
Thank you to
critical repairs
Restitution Press
and
for all the
set
cool
assessments
shirts
as
and
follows.
hoodies.
So from fund number 209/88.
What's up, Christina? How are you? Good morning.
88W
I'm Bunny Rabbit.
210, various recreation park facilities, $104,282. To Fund 140, General Services Department, as follows. 001014, salaries construction projects, $13,286. 001101, hiring hall construction, $31,478. 001121, benefits hiring hall construction, $14,716. And 003180 construction materials, $44,802 for a total of $104 or $282.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get a lighter.
By you, Mr. McCosker.
Lighters I have are like dead. I want a new one.
And Mr. Blumenfield has confirmed that he's the second. Thank you.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Item 5 for comments, please.
I found one.
5 for comments. Councilmember Blumenfield.
Okay, two things. One, on item 11, where Mr.
Not
Costa
yet,
just
but I have a
talked to the
feeling
amendment,
that
I want to clarify that
the people in the yellow are there to support the teachers. I have that weird feeling, but I could be wrong. We'll see.
to that, but I don't think it was stated clearly that
All right,
we
guys.
were moving report B.
And
So,
girls.
Thank you. Thank
putting
you for
that
the
out there.
clarification.
And then I'd like to call 12, the FSR special for comment.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Call item 9 special for comment.
Definitely looks packed in the house today.
Item 9.
A lot of people in there, right?
Park.
I'd like to call item 4
I
special
don't see any
for
kids.
questions and remarks, please.
Very good. Any other specials?
What's up,
members?
Kiss? Hi, Don.
Going once, going twice. All right. Madam Clerk, what items are now available for us to vote on? Well,
And if, for clarification, Mr. President, if we can get the second for Mr. Blumenfield's motion on item 11 to move recommendation B. Thank you.
I can't get into the
okay.
building. Ojo, I can't get into the building there. I'm not vaccinated, so you have to be vaccinated and show status in order
All right.
to get
Those
in
items are now before us.
there. So,
If there's
yeah.
no further discussion, let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes. For clarification, that would be items 7, 10,
It is to these nerds.
12, and 13 through 15.
Look, if they keep the bullshit going, they keep the sham up, okay, it keeps the state of emergency going. That gets federal funds coming into the state, which already has the 4th largest economy in the entire world on this fucking planet. So yeah, the grift just gets bigger. Do you understand? And if they keep the sham going, more money.
Is that right?
Thank you. That
Or
would
do we
be
need to
7,
revote?
10, and 13 to 15.
That's it.
Very good.
Simple and
Thank
easy.
you. Let's go next to the
It's all
closed
about the
session
money.
items. Councilmember Hernandez had called item 34 special for consideration in closed session. On the remaining matters, Councilmember Blumenfield, do you have recommendations for us on items 30, 31, 32, 33, and 35, please?
Morning, Randy.
I think recommendation is to support as recommended. We did consider these during closed session, and I do not think we need to revisit them in open session.
What's up, Pilgar?
Very good.
We don't
Thank
need to
you.
go into closed session. We can deal with them in open session.
We can deal with them in open session. All right.
Hi, people.
Councilmember Rodriguez, did you want to be heard on any of these matters?
Yes, and
No, I had a special.
Happy hump day,
recognition that I
everybody.
wanted to do, but
Okay.
whenever you're ready for that.
One moment.
Did she even go home and change?
All
She was
right,
wearing that
so
same
items
shit yesterday.
30, 31, 32, 33, and 35 are available to be voted on if members don't have questions or concerns. So, Madam Clerk, if you could please read out the recommendations.
Thank you. For item 30, in the case entitled Alexis Wright versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $350,000 in settlement. For item 31, in the case entitled Leslie Bloom versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $582,500 in settlement. For item 32, in the case entitled Feline Kissick et al. Versus City of Los
Nancy.
Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $1,350,000 in settlement.
Our sexy
For item
panda.
33, in the case entitled Giovanna Nolan versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $200,000 in settlement. And for item 35, in the case entitled City of Los Angeles versus Daniel P. Whalen et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $2,700,000 in settlement.
My
Thank you.
IQ, Jonathan, is probably a 72 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think I can get my name right.
All right. Those items are now before us. If there's no one wishing to be
I
heard,
think they give
let's
you
go
a
ahead and
little
open
bit
the
for
roll,
that.
close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes.
Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I am joined today by a very good friend of mine that,
I swear she didn't
in
go
light
home.
of Women's History Month, I thought it was
It's a repeat.
especially important.
Trump- I mean, it's,
that,
what is it?
we
Truman-
take the
Truman
moment
Show.
to celebrate and recognize the accomplishment of this outstanding human being. And I'm joined today by my very good friend, Vanessa Delgado, who on March 3rd was elected to chair the South Coast AQMD Governing Board. Vanessa is the first Latina to hold this position in the agency's
always
47-year
right into the race.
history. As chair, Vanessa will lead the board to adopt policies and regulation that promote clean air within its four-county area, which I'm hoping will also include Whiteman Airport. Vanessa joined AQMD Governing Board in May 2019 as the Senate Rules Committee representative. She is the chair of the Environmental Justice Advisory Group
I'm a genius.
and serves on the Climate Change, Investment Oversight, Legislative, Marine Port, and Stationary Source Committees. She has served as vice chair of the Governing Board since May 2021. As the daughter of Mexican immigrants born and raised in Los Angeles, I'm just really especially proud of what you've done to ascend this particular post, because I know how challenging it can be, particularly as Latinas, to be able to emerge in leadership roles in conversations of this type. These are conversations that are often commandeered by other interests, and so it's really brings me a tremendous source of pride to be able to recognize you and your accomplishments today. Vanessa began her career in public service in the cities of Pico Rivera, Anaheim, and Downey, but this was only the beginning. In 2015, she was elected to the City of Montebello City Council, my birthplace, and went on to serve as mayor in 2017. Continuing her passion for public service, she was elected to serve as state senator representing the 32nd District, and following her tenure in the California State Senate, Vanessa founded Azure Development, a company that develops housing and community and commercial projects throughout the Southwest region. And so, colleagues, it is my honor that we recognize today in our council chambers the esteemed Vanessa Delgado and recognize her for her incredible leadership that has earned her rightfully the position of chair of AQMD. If you please join me in giving her a round of applause.
No, you gave her a applause, not a round.
Welcome, Senator, and thank you for your service and for your protection of clean air and of housing as well. Yeah. Councilmember Rahman.
This is the backpack. I mean, the backpatting
I just wanted
moment.
to join in the warm words for Senator Delgado.
I have to
You
read
were the
it.
vice chair of AQMD when I joined early last year, and
Why is it that when all these people have warm words and stuff, they have to read them? I mean, I'm willing to bet you she couldn't even remember her fucking name. She's probably never met this fucking woman. Okay? It's just so unsincere. I mean, God damn it, man. I mean, I'm not the best public speaker, okay? But I mean, to speak from the heart for literally 1 minute, 60 seconds, isn't that fucking hard? You shouldn't have to read everything off your phone. It's wild to me.
air quality management plan, which actually already in the standards that it's set out has
all posturing.
changed how we respond to some of the biggest polluters in the region because of technical changes that were made in that plan that you supported and that you shepherded through, that you championed, which are going to make it so much easier for us to be able to take on
And
some of our
grift.
biggest polluters and improve our air quality.
Thank you for helping
Where
us
Senator
grift.
Delgado has always shown the strongest leadership is in protecting and elevating the voices of the most vulnerable communities. Her commitment to AB 617 communities in Southeast LA and throughout the district is unmatched on that board. And it always helps me to remember why our work together is so important. AQMD has a very troubled history with many of these communities, very troubled. And so it makes it all the more significant that you're there, that your voice is there. And I'm so confident that your time there is going to be historic, not just because you're the first Latina chair, but because you're going to use that position to put the interests of the South Coast Basin's underserved communities first in every step of our work, and it couldn't be more needed right now. So thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, where's her basketball signed by all these idiots?
All right. I think we're now prepared to proceed to the public comment.
Yeah, let's get to the real
of
shit.
Our agenda.
Enough
So,
here, your moron
as
asses.
Is our practice.
Fucking
we will take
packed.
Public comment.
Look at
first
that
from
line.
Those who are here in the council chambers.
Oh.
And then, if time remains,
Packed.
we'll also
Mammoth
be
is
taking,
packed.
Callers who are on the phone. We do have a lot of speakers here. It looks like today in the council chambers. So we'll get through as many as. we
you won't
can
get through
as
all
time
of 'em.
allows. So, with that, Madam Clerk, if you could please read in the instructions.
Thank you. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669
There it is. You
254
want to call in?
5252 and use meeting ID number
669
160-535-8466 and press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
Stand
Let
on
me
one
repeat.
foot.
Call 669
Close one eye,
254
and then you can talk.
5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Thank you.
To members of the public calling in, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak on. You have 1 minute to speak, up to 3 minutes total, and if you wish 1 minute for general public comment, please speak on the items before beginning general public comment. We'll tell you when you're
Imagine
done.
having to hang out
When
with this
speaking
guy
on
for a
the
day.
Agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not on topic, or if I can't tell whether you're on topic, you're going to get one brief warning from me, the president. At that point, you need to get immediately clearly on topic. Unfortunately, otherwise you'll forfeit your speaking time.
Please,
the
goat
items that are
boy.
Open for public comment.
Please,
today are
goat
items
boy.
1 through 3.
Please
8,
call in again.
11, 12,
Please.
and 16 to 28. So to repeat,
Please.
items 1, 2, and 3.
I'm begging you. I ain't asking.
11,
I'm
12,
begging.
and 16 through 28.
Not asking. I'm
You can
begging.
speak about any of
Please.
the other items or anything else within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city during general public comment. Now, as you were told, for members of the public calling in, when it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will prompt you to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do so, council staff will prompt you once more, typically by reading off the last 4 digits of your phone number. At that point, you need to press star 6 right away, or unfortunately, we're going to move on to the next speaker. One other thing, there's a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, so 2 things are important. 1, when it's your turn to speak, please turn down the volume on any other devices you're listening to, like Channel 35 or YouTube. If you don't, between the time delay and feedback, it really causes a great deal of confusion. Second, while you're waiting for your turn to speak and press star 6,
I'm
please
begging.
keep
I ain't
reminding
even
the
asking.
phone. If you're only listening on, say, Channel 35, you won't hear in real time when it's your turn to press star 6.
I
when
want to
the
say
time
that's
might get
Ottawa
passed over.
Pro.
And with that, Mr. President, we are ready to take
Wolf.
public comment.
Our
Very good.
homeboy
Thank you
from
very
Ottawa.
much. I will call out.
I like him.
Several
Good dude.
names, and as I call your name, if you could please come on over to the your left side of the chambers, so that you can be
Remember,
directed. Up
we
to
were
the
watching
podium.
his feed when all that went
And
down
if
in
you
Ottawa
do
with the
require
truckers.
Interpretation. We do have a Spanish language interpreter here. I would just ask that you pause as you comment, so that the interpreter has time to provide interpretation. So let's go ahead and invite up Dr. D, Donald Harlan, Miracle, and Arnold Sachs, please.
I like Dr. D. She gives him shit every time. She ain't fucking around. And I don't think that's Kevin DeLeon. I can't tell from the back. The gray suit right there. Second guy over, sitting down. I want to say that might be him, because that's usually where he sits. But I could be wrong. It doesn't look like his hair from the back. It looks kind of like him.
Hi, Mr.
So
Harlan. Which
that might be
items do
him.
you want to speak on?
We'll find
I'd
out.
like to speak on several, but this is specifically number 2.
Okay, so
No. Which items?
so the items that are open for public comment, I'll just repeat for
Yes.
everybody.
It's him, right?
Items
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3, 8, 11, 12,
Should get good.
and 16
Him
through
sitting in the
28.
quorum now.
So
The horseshoe.
if
Should
you
get
want,
lively.
my guess is you're going to be speaking on at least 3 of them. So why don't we set the clock for 3 and stick with those
Thank you.
items.
I'd like to speak on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll start. I was concerned about the assessment of taxes for the business improvement district. Some of those bicycle riders, some of those security guards have been weaponized against the people. This one's for Little Tokyo and Los Feliz. I was concerned if these properties were still on your tax base. If they were, whether you should be pulling tax monies. It looks like you might just be ripping off tax money. I haven't seen the nuisance at 1 in 16 East 59 place for number 3, but anyways, number 4 and 5. I don't want RV homelessness staged on my properties, especially sponsored by the city council. I don't want any of my real estate properties used for homeless anything. That's going to be a big problem. Number 4, that's number 4 and 5.
It's going to be a big problem.
Oh, number 7, the Housing Authority data breach. Oh, there's no cyber attack. You know what happened? Somebody in there decided to sell everybody's information and identities. They said, we spent all the deposits on all the properties. That's number 7.
So, Mr. Harlan, number 7.1 is an open for public comment. Do you want to
Oh,
talk
sorry.
about it in general?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, number 9.
Nope.
Number 10.
How about
12?
12 is a winner. Go ahead.
12's a winner. Shit's a clown show, dude. Straight clown show. Look, he's got his cliff notes and everything. This dude owns all of LA.
The
apparently.
Budget and Finance Innovation Committee report. This is what are they doing in that committee? That's a big problem.
It's a big problem.
I think they're doing quite a bit more than they should. Number.
Yeah, it's definitely him.
Oh,
Confirmed.
number
It is
15.
definitely him.
I would question the ownership of these properties. Number 15. 1123 1161 South Main Street.
How about 16 through 28, Mr. Harlan?
Okay, I'm on general comment, right?
Great.
Okay, the Housing Authority data breach. You know what happened? Somebody in there's no cyber attack. Somebody sold everybody's data and identities. They spent all the deposits and all the money in there. And they said, screw you guys. We're going to the higher state court or the higher state government, or screw you guys. We're going to Washington, D.C. We have new immunity. We're just going to screw everybody in the housing department, spend the money, and be the next president. That's what's going on, huh? Another thing, religious institutions, I'm concerned about their protections and exemptions, that if they're going to use the property for other things, if they're there illegally. I don't want you guys in Metro developing any of my property. No homeless, nothing built on any of my property.
Thanks, Mr. Harlan.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harlan. Dr.
None of
D,
it on his property.
Miracle-
He's
There
crazy.
seems to be a technical
Bad
issue
shit
with
crazy,
the
dude.
Interpretation.
By the way, he owns Man's Chinese Theater. He owns
You have a headset
Hollywood
on?
Boulevard.
You're not hearing it?
He owns those properties there that he was referring to, I believe in South LA. So,
Okay.
yeah, he owns a lot of
Okay, let's
stuff.
see.
He's a baller.
Give me 1 minute, please.
And instead of investing in buying more properties, he's busy here with his cliff notes, making sure that they don't put homeless on all
Is there
of his
anybody
properties.
who's using a headset who can hear the interpretation, or are they all? Is there anybody here who can hear the Spanish interpretation? Okay, I'm sorry. There seems to be a technical issue. Let's see if we can get that resolved.
No shit, huh? Of course you guys have technical problems.
We seem to be experimenting some technological differences.
Hello. If anybody's
They're gonna,
headset,
they're gonna bring out the
Thank you
dildozer
very much
right
for
now.
letting me know.
Here comes the dildozer.
Okay, but if we can avoid hearing it in the chambers, we're now hearing it on the speaker. So, okay, Dr. D, Miracle, Arnold Sachs, and Alejandra Burciaga, please.
Hi, Dr. Devant. Which items had you signed up for today?
Public comment.
Please go ahead. You have a minute.
Okay, so I want to particularly talk about item number 4, these RVs. One of the things is that if they're going to be put in parking places, they need to be close to where the people are located right now. Otherwise, these people will not be able to get to jobs, will not be able to get to doctor's appointments, will not be able to do the things that they do, which is why they are parked the way where they are. I also really hate that the LAPD is involved in this. This just escalates problems and situations that are out of control. But I understand that the LAPD is so much a part of this housing thing. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I also object to this notion of voluntarily relinquishing their vehicles. There is nothing voluntary about what these people are asked to do. And they should not have to relinquish their vehicles until they have permanent housing. Because if they get put into temporary housing, that is not going to be sufficient. Then they're going to need their vehicles. And Kevin De Leon, get out!
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Miracle, Arnold Sachs, Alejandra Burciaga, and Alonso Landeros.
Get your ass out of here, Kevin De Leon. She's pissed.
Oh,
got the old lady yelling at him.
Miracle, I am here for items 6 and 10.
Okay, so they're not open for public comment, but you sure can talk about them in general. So we'll set the clock for a minute.
You said neither?
Neither is open as a item, but you can talk
10
about them.
as well as not?
Correct.
Okay.
But please, you have a minute in general, so you can talk about them then. Go ahead.
All right, everyone. My name is Miracle. I'm a tenant in District 10. I'm here to advocate about item number 6. What this does is provide protections for LA tenants just like myself to the right to counsel. And as you know, many people of color, minorities as well, do not have the advantage when it comes to having the right to counsel. This is something that I strongly believe in, and I believe that many of these landlords that are making millions and millions of dollars have the right and the ability to use their money to have attorneys, but people like myself who face problems with their landlords, I've had this issue as well, do not have the access that we need, and this will actually provide us that opportunity. So I hope that you hear our call as with ACE and the many tenants that are here represented today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Arnold Sachs, Alejandra Burciaga, Alonso Landeros, and Angel Aguilar, please.
Mr. Sachs, which items had you signed up for today?
Oh, he's coming back?
Signed up for items number 1.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Item number 16.
Hold on a sec.
And item number 27, and public comment.
Great. So you have 3 minutes for those items, followed by a minute for general. Please begin, Mr. Sachs.
Okay, item number 1 refers to a, excuse me while I drink this little air. There's nothing in the cup. Well, there's some papers. But anyway, item number 1 refers to the Tokyo Business Improvement District operating year beginning January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. It's the fiscal year, but the city's fiscal year begins in July 1st. The federal fiscal year begins in October 1st. So which fiscal year are you talking about? This is already the end of May, and you're just getting this on your agenda. I know you've been really busy, but that's 3 months late. Who's suffering? Maybe the people in Little Tokyo. You know that hotel, the new Otani Hotel, was taken over and changed into a Hilton? That's disgusting. It used to be the center of life for the residents of Little Tokyo. They helped defend the country during World War II and other battles. That sucks. Item 16 refers to the rent escrow. I don't know why you don't use MICLA funds. You have it in your agenda. They're municipal issued city of Los Angeles, not corporate. Los Angeles is already a corporate city. In case you didn't know that, there are 88 corporate cities in the county of Los Angeles. Even the county is a corporation. It's the devil in the details. It's very important that you look at the details. That's really, really where the weight is. The city has been privatized.
Look at Monica
Number
swiping on her phone,
27
doing nothing, not even paying attention. Look at her.
refers to healthcare services. That's what LA is all about. It's all about LA care. Private care. Care. There was a healthcare festival at the arena at USC back in 2006. It's all about care. The federal government, Obamacare, one of the most aggressive health care plans ever. Affordable health care for low-income people. They signed up 10,000, they signed up over 15,000 people for the affordable health care.
10,000, I mean 15,000.
Who's paying? The public is paying. Why is the public double dipping when it was a private company? Did you ever hear of LA Care?
You can go into general, Mr. Sachs.
Oh, general public, let's see. Oh, hell.
Oh, hell.
They're celebrating Nowruz this week for the Sunnis and the Shiites. Are they including anything for the black Muslim community? What about Malcolm X? Who brought the critical race theory into LAUSD? They're spending $28,000 per fucking student in LAUSD. They're grading on a 30% passing.
Don't worry, they're not in school anyways, thanks to the strike.
It's optimizing your budget. The county just passed a budget for over $45 billion. What is the city's budget and what is Metro? We have problems. This is a real problem. This is a Metro map. Why is there a black Metro and a white Metro? And this logo sucks. And what about this Dollar Tree? And what about HHH? This is a hotel. There's no A here. How can you spell fucking Conrad without an A?
Thanks very much. Your time has expired, Mr. Sachs. Your time has expired. Thank you. Alejandra Burciaga, Alonso Landeros, Angel Aguilar, and Cassandra
This logo
Aranda.
sucks. How could you spell Conrad without a C? Dude, he gets on a roll, dude. Imagine letting that guy just go.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
I would like to speak on the item 6, please.
Could you just pull the microphone down? Thank you very much.
Excellent. No, that's great. So 6 isn't open for comment as an item,
Yes,
but you can
comment.
talk about it in general. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Okay, so I'm a tenant in District 9 with the same issue as the young lady just spoke right now with the tenancy. It's not fair for some tenants that don't have that, that support or in general with the lawyer because they have nowhere to defend themselves. I'm a wife of 2 kids. They have disabilities, and it's not fair for us that don't know the law.
Did she say I'm a wife of 2 kids?
They can't fight the same as the lawyer because the landlord has more ability of winning in quotes because they're the owners of the property, and that seems not fair. In my case, the landlord is not willing to talk or have a discussion with my case. So it's not fair for us tenants that don't have that support as with an attorney to represent us in court when it's needed. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, is your name Alejandra?
Yes, Alejandra.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alonso Landeros, Angel Aguilar, Cassandra Aranda, and Charles Zhu, please.
Hi.
Buenos días. Quiero tomar
Good morning.
artículo 1 y
I'd like to speak
comentario
about
público.
Issue number 1 and a public comment.
Mi nombre es Alonso Landeros.
Hi, Alonso.
Vivo en el Distrito 9.
Yes,
Miembro
my name
de
is
ACES.
Alonso Landeros. I live in
Momento.
District 9. I'm a member of ACES.
He sido golpeado por el dueño múltiples ocasiones.
I have been beaten by the owner of the property on multiple occasions.
Hopefully,
Frente de
Roy.
mi niño tengo una orden de desalojo y una orden de restricción.
In front of my child, I have an order of eviction and a restriction.
He tuvido pedir prestado $5,000.
I've had to borrow $5,000.
He desatendido a mi familia para pagarle al abogado.
And I had to leave my family unattended in order to pay this attorney.
Necesitamos un derecho a un abogado.
We need rights to attorneys.
Como una persona que mata tiene derecho a un abogado.
How is it that a person that kills someone does have the right to representation?
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Angel Aguilar, Cassandra Aranda, Charles Zhu, and Cynthia Gonzalez, please.
Hello. Buenos días.
Good morning.
Vivo aquí en Los Ángeles.
Yes, I live here in Los Angeles.
Vivo por 32 años viviendo en mi casa.
And for 32 years, I've been living in my home.
Vendieron los departamentos y ya 2 veces me han desalojado.
They've sold out these apartments and have evicted me twice now.
Por la gracia de Dios, estoy en mi casa.
Thanks to God's grace, I am at home now.
Lo que no entiendo, si un criminal tiene derecho a un abogado y nosotros que somos inquilinos, que trabajamos día con día a día para pagar nuestros biles, pagar nuestras rentas, y no tenemos representación legal.
I just don't understand how it is that a criminal, someone that goes to court, does have the right to legal representation. And we're tenants, we work day to day just to be able to meet our needs. And we don't have the right to legal representation.
You're a dick, Mayor.
Yo les pido, por favor, que aprueben presupuestos y ayuden a nuestras gentes para que haya asistencia legal en las cortes.
Of course not,
So I will
Blackjack.
ask you to please approve a budget, part of your budget, for
Gracias.
assistance to people in the community.
I don't
in
know,
these
Jose.
issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Only way that
Gracias,
happens
señor.
is if you're
Gracias.
evicted twice by 2 separate landlords.
Cassandra Aranda, Charles Zhu, Cynthia Gonzalez, please.
I mean, wrongful eviction, they could have won a lot of money, so obviously he was evicted for a rightful
Council
reason.
members, how you doing today? I'm here to
For whatever
comment
reason
on,
that
right
was.
to counsel and just general public
Yeah.
comment.
Okay, please go ahead.
Could have broke the lease in
absolutely.
any way.
Well, since I've already said hello, my name is Cassandra Aranda, and I am with On Our Feet Collective. I want to first start off by thanking Council members Rahman and Bloomfield for introducing the motion to establish right to counsel as a renter and a concerned neighbor and
that's
organizer.
Weed
I
Collective.
strongly urge and tell everybody else we support right to counsel ordinance. The right to counsel would create a more level playing field for tenants and landlords in court. It also saves taxpayers money because it will reduce and prevent illegal and unjust evictions and homelessness. For every tenant landlords have been painting as negligent, fraudulent, and refusing to pay, we can present you landlords like Mr. Alisane, who is arrested and currently being charged for allegedly setting fire to his building with tenants inside. That's in East Hollywood. You know, we deserve a right and representation for these matters as well, especially when judgments impact our credit history for 7 years. Yesterday at the county, I heard countless lawyers voice the assumption that we can just pack up and move after that judgment. Well, guess what? We can't, especially now when landlords can use that to disqualify us. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Charles Zhu, Cynthia Gonzalez, Dolores Rosas, and Dominga Solorzano, please.
Hi. Which
Oh,
items
good
did-
morning.
Hi, which items did you want to speak on?
Just general public comment.
Okay, great. Please go ahead.
Well, Council, my name is Charles Shu. I am an organizer for ACE in District 10, as well as data manager for Stay Housed LA. And in both capacities, I want to strongly urge you to pass item 6 in full and unamended, and to do the same for the right to counsel ordinance that will emerge from it. The council has talked a big game about the raft of permanent protections that it has passed recently, but all of these are by design only meant to be invoked as affirmative defenses in court after a tenant has already received a 40-page summons and complaint. And so in reality, none of these are actually that meaningful unless we have full right to counsel. In my capacity as Stay Housed Data Manager, I can tell you that we have seen over 10,000 eviction cases being filed in the past 3 months. Our legal service providers are buckling under the weight of unlawful detainer complaints, and we need right to counsel now in order to make any of these protections at all materially meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cynthia Gonzalez, Dolores Rosas.
But a lot of those people then
Domingo
hadn't paid
Solorzano,
rent for a long
Edna
time. So what were they doing with all the money they
Hello.
were getting?
I'm here with item number
don't
6
get it.
and general public comment. My name is Cynthia Gonzalez. I am a tenant and live in District 14. And I want to thank Councilmember Rahman and Bloomingfield for introducing this motion to establish the right to counsel. As a renter and an organizer with Eastside,
I'm looking at two different screens,
SO.
that's why. I'm watching the
There are
snowers.
many
the
different
snowers.
evictions happening right now. There are not enough
The
attorneys
skiers.
present to be able
It's
to
fucking
take the
packed over
amount
here.
of people getting evicted.
They're
in
cleaning
LA.
the roof.
If LA is really here to commit to end homelessness and keep people housed, we ultimately recommend that we
The
pass this
snowers.
ordinance to be able
Mhm.
to establish protections and a defense for tenants that are facing these evictions,
I'm like
especially
watching
from so-called housing providers that we know are landlords that are accusing and hurting these
Look at the lift
tenants
line.
and causing so many habitability issues to push these tenants out. So we urge you to please pass right to counsel and make sure that we are able to tackle on this eviction crisis.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
What's my opinion
All
on
right,
Andrew
before we
Tate?
go to our next
I
speaker,
don't follow
Mr. City
him.
Attorney.
You know,
Mr.
he's,
City Attorney,
he's
you
a
have
man.
the-
He's
I
allowed
do
to have his
need
own
to present the
opinion.
record.
I don't really
this
follow
is,
him, to be honest.
amendment to item
It's a form
12
of
to
opinion
add
about
the
him.
following recommendations. So first, transfer $200,000 from the unallocated line
Too
item
busy
in the
watching
Affordable
sports
Housing
and
Trust
playing with
Fund
baseball
number
cards.
44G and the Office of the City
Look at the
Administrative
line.
Officer Fund
Look at the
100,
line just to get on.
Department 10,
Holy
account
shit.
number 002130,
Hopefully you bought your phone.
Travel for the Global Policy Leadership Academy. Said funds to be reimbursed to the city by charitable donation by June 30, 2023. And 2, instruct the city administrative officer to prepare controller instructions.
He's not in
and/or
jail
make
anymore. I
technical
think they got
corrections
him
or
out, didn't they?
adjustments
Think so.
That
You
may be
think he's out
required
now?
and are consistent with this city council action for the appropriation and transfer of up to $200,000 from the office
Gelato
of the
cake
city
is what I'm hitting.
administrative officer fund number 100 with the same account numbers. And travel to various city departments
Peachy,
and funds for
I
the
don't know. They
Global
want to become
Policy
squatters, I
Leadership
guess.
Academy and authorize the controller to implement those instructions presented by.
I mean, if you can't afford something like your apartment or whatever, your house, and then you just stay there, and you're not paying, you become a squatter, regardless of you asking for a free lawyer or not. You're only then saying to a lawyer, "Well, fuck, they ain't paying them. They know. I know they ain't gonna pay me."
Rosas, Dominga Solorzano, and Edna Monroy, please.
Right? I mean, come on.
Good morning.
Aye. Which items would
I
you
guess
like?
everybody wants a free house, right, Jared? I mean,
Please,
I don't know.
Please, go ahead.
Hola, señora.
Ok.
Por favor, sí.
Hola, mi nombre es Dolores Rosas. Soy miembro de ACES.
Homeboy left.
Soy del Distrito 8 y vengo aquí a pedirles
Hello.
que aprueben un abogado para todos nosotros
Hi,
de
my-
bajos recursos.
My name is
porque
Dolores Rosas. Un momento, señora, para la traducción, por favor.
There's like
My name is
nobody on
Dolores
the
Rosas. I'm
horseshoe
a-
on this side, and she's
I'm a
on her
tenant of
phone
District
still.
8, and I've come here today to ask you please to
Disrespect.
approve legal representation for tenants. Siga.
porque necesitamos un abogado por caso de desalojo. Necesitamos que por favor nos ayuden a aprobar un abogado porque si no, ¿a dónde vamos a ir nosotros a dar si no tenemos un
Because
abogado?
we really need attorneys and representations in eviction cases, because otherwise, where will we land? Where
What's
will
up,
we
Peter?
have to go to if we don't have
Good evening.
representation? Thank you.
Nosotros necesitamos que nos escuchen porque nosotros no tenemos para pagar un abogado en caso de desalojo. Por eso venimos a pedirles que nos ayuden en todo lo que nosotros necesitamos porque ustedes son los que pueden ayudar
And
en todo.
we need to be heard in these eviction cases. That's why we need representation or an attorney. And you guys are the ones to help us in cases like this. Support
Gracias.
and thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas
Yeah,
gracias,
they
señor.
don't care. They're not listening to none of these people. She thinks they're listening.
Thank you.
They're not. The people who came with
Dominga
her
Solorzano,
are listening.
Edna Monroy.
These
and
people, he
Heidi
doesn't give a
Gonzalez.
fuck. If you asked any of them what they had said a minute ago, say, hey, repeat it back to me, they couldn't tell
Mi
you.
nombre es Dominga Solórzano y soy del Distrito 9 y vengo.
And you know what's funny is you have a group of Latinos, right? And Miss Monica Rodriguez, who loves to roll those Rodriguez. It's not Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez. You know, gets real Latino. You know what I mean? When it's Gloria Molina and whatever her name was today, Delgado. Okay? She gets real Latino with it, right? So now you have Latinos in real need. And what is she doing? She's busy on her fucking phone, flipping around, not giving two fucks. And that's a real deal. She doesn't even have the fucking interest for 1 minute to listen to what these people are going through. Not pay attention for one fucking moment. Unless she's sucking up to somebody that she wants to suck up and get that race baiting going. It's sad, dude. The gall of some of these people, man.
And I would like to thank City Council, the councilors.
Don't let her fool you. Don't let her fool you.
For tenants.
With her Gucci glasses on and shit. Don't let her fool you. She don't give a fuck about her own kind. Only ones that'll advance her up.
And I would ask you to please support this ordinance. I believe as tenants, we also have a right to legal represention in court. Thank you very much.
I mean, bro, she's still looking down on her phone. Look at her. Do you want me to zoom in a little more? I can, just a tad more, but you can see it.
Because there's so many people out in the streets that are homeless. You know, I worry about them. I mean, I get sick being inside a house. It's cold and the rain. I worry about them. Please.
Soy humana y pienso como humano, ¿verdad?
I'm a human, so I think for humans like a human.
Gracias.
Gracias.
It's a sad deal, dude.
Thank you.
You know, they act like they're humanitarians.
Monroy,
They're not.
Heidi Gonzalez, Fernanda, and Jason Reedy, please.
Hi, Ms. Monroy.
And the idiot over here, she just decided to show up. Remember, she was all like, oh my God, you're going to make all the change.
Hi, everyone. I'm Edna Monroy. I currently live in City 10. I grew up in City 8, and I work in City 9 with Sage, part of the Keep LA House Coalition, supporting the Right to Counsel Coalition as well. At Sage, we host a weekly tenant action clinic where we see a whole bunch of issues ranging from evictions, harassment, lack of repairs, and infestations. I myself, like many other hundreds and thousands of tenants, I'm facing eviction. My landlord purchased our Larso duplex back in January 2022 and has been harassing us. This harassment led to an eviction that I am actually fighting. And thanks to the support of Eviction Defense Network, I have found some legal representation. However, I know that my time is running up because we still don't have a codified right to legal representation. We can't talk about permanent solutions to the homeless issues without passing strong permanent protections that center the needs of tenants, not the corporate greed of landlords. So we need a right to legal representation.
Thank you very much. Heidi Gonzalez, Eva Garcia, Fernanda, and Jason Reedy, please.
You know, but she also has to remember that she's mixing all the landlords together, too. Not every landlord's a billionaire corporation.
Mi nombre es Heidi González.
You know?
Good morning.
That's got hundreds of properties.
En la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Some are mom and
He
pops.
venido aquí a exponer mi caso de hostigamiento.
And I am a tenant in the city of Los Angeles and have been here many times to express my case of harassment against me.
Ahora, por mi dueño, pero que ahora se hace.
That's right, Jolly. No respect.
Se hace llamar proveedor de vivienda.
By the landlord. And now he's calling himself a home provider.
Hoy estoy aquí porque quiero que por favor nos ayuden a que todos los inquilinos de Los Ángeles tengamos derecho a un abogado cuando estamos enfrentando un caso de desalojo.
And I am here to ask that you please help all of us tenants in Los Angeles when we have to confront an eviction case in court.
Es muy difícil encontrar un abogado cuando usted solamente tiene 5 días para responder una demanda.
And it is very difficult to have to find an attorney when you only have 5 days to respond to this
O
claim,
automáticamente perder su hogar.
to the demand of eviction, or automatically lose your home.
Y terminar con un desalojo en su récord que lo va a dañar por 10 años para encontrar otra unidad.
Then you end up with an eviction on your record that can harm you for 10 years in finding another home.
El día de ayer fui a apoyar a un inquilino y encontré a otro inquilino que estaba ahí a punto
he had to
de
go get
firmar
coffee, the
documentos que ni
president.
siquiera él entendía.
And yesterday, I went to help out a tenant, and we saw another tenant
I'm
there
gone again.
that was
Bye.
about to sign these documents that he didn't even understand.
Por favor, denos la oportunidad de defender nuestros casos en corte.
So I ask you, please, to give us this opportunity to defend ourselves in court in our cases.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Do you notice though? Yeah, you guys see how many empty seats? Like nobody here. Who are they talking to? These three, the fucking secretaries?
Fernanda?
I mean, really? You're talking to the
Jessica,
secretaries right now. Nobody who
Jose
makes
Campos.
any kind of law moves are even in the room. Nobody.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to
Who are you
speak in
talking
general
to?
public comment.
Excellent. The floor is yours. Please begin.
Nobody
My
who
name is
means anything.
Fernanda. I am a resident of
All
District
gone.
14 and a renter. I am here to speak in support for the right to counsel motion. The number one cause of eviction is self-eviction. When a tenant receives an unlawful detainer, they only have 5 days to respond. The average person does not know how to respond to these unlawful detainers. Without an attorney and legal representation, tenants are left incredibly vulnerable and often lose their cases. They have been stripped of their due process rights. Currently, judges are scoffing at COVID hardship pleas in eviction court, which is truly astounding. Have you all forgotten that Los Angeles had the most COVID deaths in the nation? COVID has not disappeared, and neither has its impacts. I want to remind you all that your vote must represent the people of Los Angeles, and 67% of the people of Los Angeles are renters. Please pass the right to counsel motion today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you get more than even 90
Okay,
days.
Eva
By the
Garcia.
time shit's happening, you'll be there 6 months
Jason Reedy?
before they get you out.
Jose Campos.
It's fucking lies. Ah, this
Okay,
shit is
please come
funny.
forward, state your
Hola,
name.
buenos días.
Hello.
Mi nombre es José Campos. Soy inquilino vivo en el distrito 9.
Morning, I am Jose Campos. I'm a tenant. I live in District 9.
Quiero agradecer a los concejales Raman y Wildenfield por presentar la moción para establecer el derecho a un abogado.
And I would like to thank counsel
Sir, so the
Raman and
So the translator, can you tell him to pull the mic a little closer to him?
Señor, si se puede, por favor, acercar un poquito más al micrófono para que se escuche mejor. Gracias. I would like to
Escúcheme.
thank Counsel Rahman and McCuster for having passed this motion to legal representation.
Como inquilino quiero preguntar fuertemente que apoye una ordenanza sobre el derecho a un abogado.
And as a tenant, I would strongly request that you please permit this ordinance a legal right to attorneys.
Donde vivo yo tengo 23 años y nunca había tenido problemas hasta que compró hace 2 años una nueva dueña.
They're watching
I've
porn.
been living in the same place for 23
on their
years and
laptops.
never had any problem until 2 years ago.
Or
when
like
a new
Candy
owner came
Crush.
and bought
They're
the
playing
property.
Candy Crush or something.
La primera vez que pude hablar con ella, me dijo que habíamos empezado con el pie izquierdo.
And the first time that I was able to speak to her, she told me that we started off on the wrong foot, on the left foot.
Porque quería que le pagara una suma muy alta.
What is
la
she
renta,
doing?
y ahí cuando
Where is
él
she
le
going
renta-
now?
Because she wanted such a high
doing nothing.
payment of rent, and there is rent control there.
Estuve llamando varias veces a Housing y parece que ayudaron más a ella porque me logró quitar todo el garage, todo el parqueadero y tumbó 3 puertas y me redució $95.
And I called housing, and housing apparently helped her more. She removed my garage, my parking spaces.
So excuse me. So
Let's
Mr.
get some
Reedy,
salt,
Mr.
please.
Reedy, you're
Hold on.
disrupting the meeting. Be quiet. Be quiet, Mr. Reedy.
If you can't be quiet, sir, you're going to be asked to leave. Please leave quietly.
Mr. Reedy, you've been ordered to leave quietly. Go.
Perdón, disculpe.
All right, sir, please.
And we still hear that
Okay,
they don't fire their sound
por
guy.
mío, la nueva dueña dijo que que habíamos empezado con el pie izquierdo y que iba a hacer todo por lo posible por desalojarme.
Yeah, so the new owner said this, that we started off on the wrong foot, and now she was going to do everything possible to evict me.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias, señor. Disculpe.
Get your fucking hands off me. Oh, man. He was heated. It's the ones you wanted to talk to. Those are the ones you want to talk before they get thrown out.
Eva Garcia, Jessica McCormick.
We haven't even got to the phones
Larry
yet.
Larson. You're here, please step.
There's
Podium.
a stack of fucking people in there.
Hi, Mr. Larson. Which items had you signed up for?
Number 6, the general comments.
Okay, so you have a minute. Please begin.
I'm in the minority today. I'm a landlord, a small landlord.
Uh-oh.
I run a
They're gonna get
property
you.
where we have 12 investors. They're all retired. I'm the only working partner. My partners need the income from the apartment building. 5 of them are school teachers, retired. We have tenants that have paid no rent since the beginning of COVID. I have one tenant that we're finally evicting. He owes $155,000. We're owed about $350,000 in total. We're suffering. Bills have gone sky high, including utility bills. We haven't been able to raise rents since 2019. The ordinance that's being proposed, as I understand it, the source of the money is supposed to come from the real estate transfer taxes. But that new law was passed to provide more housing. It was not passed to hire private lawyers to assist renters. Thank you.
All right, please, if you can't be quiet, you're going to be asked to leave. You will be asked to leave.
So please, we're listening to all of you.
You
He
knew
able
that
to
was
speak
coming.
uninterrupted too. Hi, which items would you like to speak on?
Español, por favor.
Okay.
The freeloaders are salty.
Mi nombre es Eva García y vengo de la comunidad de Boyle Heights.
With that salt on it.
Hi, my name is Ana Garcia, and I come from Boyle Heights.
Y quiero pedirles, por favor, que apoyen a la número 6 porque nuestros inquilinos necesitan un derecho a un abogado gratuito.
Yes, and I'd like to ask, please, for your support to issue number 6, because our tenants do need free legal representation.
En Los Ángeles se enfrentan más de 35,000 desalojos.
Los Angeles has seen over 35,000 evictions.
Es el pan de cada día.
And this is the bread that we receive daily.
Y nosotros pedimos a ustedes que por favor apoyen a que haya abogados gratuitos.
So we would ask you to please support this motion to have free legal representation.
Porque al llegar a la corte los inquilinos son intimidados no nada más por los dueños, a veces hasta por los jueces.
Because when we arrive at court, we're intimidated not only by the owners of the property, but also by the judges in the court.
Y los hacen o los obligan a firmar una carta de que les dan un mes nada más para que puedan estar ahí.
And they obligate them, almost force them to sign a letter stating that you only have a month remaining to be there.
Y realmente la vivienda está muy cara.
And well, housing is so expensive, really.
Esos dueños esos inquilinos llevan más de 20 años viviendo en esa vivienda.
And these tenants have been living there for over 20 years. in the property.
Thank you.
Y para encontrar una nueva vivienda está muy cara. Por favor, necesitamos abogados gratuitos.
It's very expensive. So that's why we need free.
So what I gather is you want free rent and you want free legal counsel. Okay, let's just say we do that. You get free rent for the rest of your life and you get free legal counsel. I'm willing to bet that you're going to want free gas.
Good morning. I'm here to speak on
Or a
item 6
free
in general
car
public
or
comment.
something else
Please
soon.
identify yourself.
Guaranteed.
My name is Jessa McCormick.
Okay, and I think you said general public comment?
And item 6.
Okay, so that's not open as an item, so you get
Okay.
general. Please begin.
Hi, my name is Jessa McCormick, and I'm the Deputy Director of Housing Justice at the Liberty Hill Foundation. Every day, I have the privilege to work with advocates and tenants to fight for a city where everyone has the right to stable and affordable housing. I'm also a renter in CD10. I want to thank Council members Rahman and Blumenfield for introducing the motion to establish a right to counsel, and I urge all of you to support item 6. We've already proven that the services that make a right to counsel real are necessary interventions to keep a roof over every head. Now we need to expand our services and make them permanent for all low-income tenants. Since May 2021, Stay Housed LA City has talked with 407,000 tenants through our outreach program. We've hosted 403 workshops and provided tenant navigation services to 7,000 people. The overwhelming message: tenants don't know where to go, and any available service is overwhelmed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Cruz Sanchez, Maria Legret, and Mr. G.
Hi, which items did you want to speak on?
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, my neighbor.
My name is Titus Fozo. English is not my first language, so please bear with me. I'm a tenant and I live in district number 10. I want to thank Council Members Raman and Blumenfield for introducing the motion to establish right to counsel. As a renter, I want to strongly urge you to support the right to counsel ordinance, because when there's no playing field, there's no justice. In my experience, I've seen that landlords have the privilege to be represented, which in contrast to a tenant like me, we have to represent ourselves. 10%, only 10% have a chance to be represented by an attorney. And the pandemic has significantly affected my living situation, and I am facing eviction because for the past year and a half, I've been fighting meritless, frivolous lawsuit, at least 5 of those, from my landlord who has been trying to evict me unlawfully and who has been locking me out of the house, locking me in the house, kidnapping me basically, locking me out of my bedroom. I had to break the door to get in my own bedroom. And the police have told her, you cannot do that, you cannot evict this man unlawfully, but she has continued to do that. I have won this lawsuit, which is a continuous attack on a Tahoe.
Thank you.
And the reason and the thing I have is...
Roy, most of the mom and pops that don't own their properties would then get foreclosed on by the banks or the lender that's lending on that property, that loan.
Your time expired.
So they'd basically lose out on all the money that they've put into it, and then they'd go broke. And then you'd have these corporations that those people hate so much owning everything.
Buenos días a todos los presentes.
Good morning to everyone
That's
present.
what would happen.
Bueno, es mi primera vez aquí.
Well, this is my first time.
Hablando.
You know, everybody's a landlord,
First time
Adam.
coming here to speak
Quit
before
being
you.
stupid.
Vengo acompañando
There's landlords
un
of all
grupo
types.
de compañeros en el cual todos estamos en la misma situación.
But I've come here supported by a group of people that are my
brevemente
peers.
voy a hablar
We're
de mi
all
caso.
in the same situation, but briefly I'd like to speak about my case.
Mi nombre es Maricruz Sánchez.
My name is Maricruz
Soy del
Sánchez.
distrito número 2.
I'm in district number 2,
Tengo una orden de desalojo
and I also have an eviction order.
en el cual tengo en esa propiedad 4 años viviendo.
I've been living in this property for 4 years.
Una situación deplorable.
And
En
it's
una
a
casa con
deplorable
goteras,
situation. The
ratas,
house has leaks,
cucarachas, problemas
rats,
eléctricos.
roaches, and electrical problems.
A raíz del COVID se fueron presentando muchas situaciones
Stemming from COVID, all these situations have been
donde resulta que hay gente que renta sin permiso,
and it turns out now
no
that
tiene
there are
registrada
renters
su
there
propiedad y tampoco paga la IRS.
that don't even register as renters. They rent without permission. They don't even pay to the IRS.
Sucediendo todo esto, el dueño de la propiedad me ha acosado,
So after all this has happened, the
me ha
owner of the
amenazado
property
junto con mis hijas,
harasses me and bothers
ha
me
generado
and my daughters.
discusiones.
He generates discussions.
Me ha mandado golpear la puerta.
And there's people coming to pound on my door.
Tengo 3 hijas, 2 de ellas con autismo.
I have 3 daughters.
Y soy madre
2 of them
soltera.
are autistic.
Soy
I'm a
divorciada.
single mother and divorced.
Estuve buscando rentas, las cuales están en las nubes. Y es muy triste ir a buscar una renta donde la gente construye solamente
And I've been looking for rentals, and rental prices are up in the sky.
un cuarto,
It's very
un
difficult.
baño,
People only build
Thank
one
you. Y
bedroom,
una
I
cocina.
assure you.
one bathroom, and one kitchen.
Gracias.
Gracias, señor.
Right space. I mean, I assure you.
Necesitamos abogados, por favor, que nos
Please.
puedan apoyar y
We
nos
need-
defiendan.
The landlords aren't bringing in cockroaches and rats.
Gracias.
They're not doing that, I assure you. Why? Because they're going to have to pay to remove them. So when it comes to cockroaches and stuff, that's the people that are living next to you that are filthy. You might not be filthy, but the one
My
next
name
to
is
you
Rosa
is.
Martinez.
Soy del distrito número 6
I'm from District 6.
y vengo a hacer un comentario público.
I've come to make a public comment.
Doesn't matter how clean you are. They'll come through the walls.
Representación legal, ya que estamos siendo acosados por el dueño,
We need legal representation. We are being harassed by the owners.
ya que quieren nuestras llaves por dinero.
They want our keys for money.
Yo vivo en esa propiedad más de 15 años
I've been living in this property for over 15 years.
y no se me hace justo que nos quieran desalojar nada más porque el dueño quiere subir las rentas o quiere nivelar las rentas. No se me hace justo porque
And it doesn't seem fair that the proprietors want to evict us just because they want to raise our rents, to level the rent payment.
ahora yo fui al housing, hice mi queja. Hasta la fecha yo no tengo respuesta del housing.
And I've been to the housing department and filed a complaint, but to this date have not received any response from the housing.
They don't care
Entonces,
either.
Yo quiero que ustedes nos digan qué hacer. Si va uno al housing, no le hacen caso. Un abogado es muy caro. A duras penas, gente de bajos recursos, a duras penas tenemos para pagar la renta. Vamos a tener para un abogado, es
So
muy caro.
I'd like to know what we can do. I mean, we're low-income people. We don't have enough to pay for an attorney and representation. We're barely making it as it is.
I don't
Very
know,
expensive.
Newberry. Probably
Entonces
outside.
necesitamos representación legal, necesitamos abogados que nos representen en corte.
So we need this legal representation, attorneys to represent tenants in court. Gracias, señora.
Thank you.
No, I guess, like I said, they figure that their rent should never be raised and they shouldn't have to pay rent. And
Mi nombre es Isidra Méndez y
I don't know.
tengo el mismo caso que la señora que acaba de
My name
pasar.
is Isidra Mendez. My case is similar to this lady who just spoke before you.
Estamos en la misma situación que las rentas ya no nos las quisieron agarrar, tenemos que mandarlas por correo y ellos, los dueños las hacen perdedizas y después nos mandan las hojas de desalojo. Entonces,
We're in the same situation. Sometimes we have to mail our rent in because they don't want to take it in person. Sometimes it even gets lost, and then we suddenly get eviction notices.
so, tienen una persona que podemos decir qué nos pasa en el apartamento, pero no quien nos agarre la renta. Entonces de repente llega la hoja y nosotros qué vamos a hacer si no tenemos ayuda legal.
So we may have someone that helps us there in the building for the apartments, but there's no one that will take the rent. So what can we do in situations like this with no one around?
Zelle,
Yo tengo una
like
hija
the
que es
rest of the world,
especial, tengo que suministrarle medicamentos
sure you have a
que
bank.
tienen que estar en refrigerador, entonces yo siempre estoy preocupada si llega a pasar algo.
I also have a special care daughter, and I have her
It's called
medication
Zelle.
that has to be kept refrigerated, and I'm worried if anything were to happen.
So, necesitamos que nos ayuden, que nos escuchen, que necesitamos un abogado en corte para que nos puedan ayudar.
So we need
Gracias.
your help. We need you to listen to us. We need legal representation, attorneys in court to help us out. Thank you.
but why even do a check? You have Zelle.
Can I
That
say
way you have a copy, a legitimate computer-issued copy of a transaction to prove that you paid the rent on that day in that moment. Not to say, oh, it got lost in the mail and then I have to send another check in the mail. No, don't do any of that. Zelle.
Buenos días.
Good
Mi
morning.
So
nombre
most
es
people
Samara y vengo representando el distrito 9
My name is Amara. I come to represent District 9.
y yo tengo una orden de desalojo para el mañana
I too have an eviction notice. I have to leave tomorrow.
y yo no recibí ninguna como de la corte para yo poder ir a corte.
Yet I didn't receive anything from the court to be able to present myself in
She's
court.
burping the baby.
Y yo no puedo andar con mis niños en la calle.
I can't be on the
Here
street
comes the
with my children.
fart.
Y necesitamos como más abogados
We need more attorneys,
para que los puedan representar,
people to represent us.
pero a veces es muy
Please,
difícil
fart.
pagar uno.
Sometimes it's very difficult
de
to
su
Rip
propia
one, kid.
cuenta.
on our own.
Rip one,
Yo soy de
kid.
bajos recursos
I'm a very low income
y
person,
necesito como un abogado para que me pueda ayudar.
and I need advocacy, someone to help us.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gracias, señora. Buena suerte.
Where's Pop? I don't know. Maybe at work. Maybe he's over there. Maybe he's the next speaker up.
Hi, Mr. Mott, please.
Hola, buenos días.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Lucina Abad
My name is
y yo
Lucina
vengo
Abbas.
aquí porque yo vengo en representación de ACE, la organización.
I've come here to represent ACE, an organization
Una organización que nos ha apoyado a todos los inquilinos de bajos recursos
that
como yo.
supports low-income tenants such as myself.
Soy madre soltera. Lamentablemente.
I'll be
me quedé
right
sola
back, guys. I
porque
gotta answer. I'm gonna
trabajo, la-
make a phone
la
call real
dueña
quick.
me
I'll be right
hostiga.
back.
Okay.
And I am a single mother. Unfortunately, I am alone, and the owner harasses me.
Then we'll
Me hostiga. Ella nunca me dio una notificación de desalojo.
She never
Cuando yo
even
reci-
gave me an eviction notice.
Yo recibí una anotación de la corte diciéndome que ya me tenía yo que salir.
I just received a note from the court saying that I had to leave.
Cuando yo le propuse pagarle mi renta y me está queriendo sacar afuera,
When I proposed that I would pay the rent, but she still wants to get rid of me.
me propuso que me fuera yo a una estancia con mi hijo,
She proposed that I go to
Un
look
niño
for
menor de
shelter
edad,
with my child, a
donde
underage
no podemos
son.
andar vagando por las calles.
We can't be vagrant on the
Yo
streets.
Tengo corte para el 10, necesito una representación.
And my court date is the 10th.
Concejales,
I need legal
háganos caso,
representation.
somos gente trabajadora, gente de bajos recursos.
Take us into account. We're
tratando de
hard-working,
sacar adelante
low-income
a los
people,
hijos,
trying to make our kids
luchando por pagarle su
have a better
renta.
life,
A los
fighting so we
dueños.
can pay this rent to these proprietors.
Y yo
Gracias.
Gracias, señora.
que se pase la ordenanza.
I ask you to please pass this ordinance. Thank you. Gracias.
All right, ma'am, thank you much for your comment. My deputy is going to be reaching out to you. Madam?
Buenos días.
Hello.
Great.
Mi nombre es Cleotilde Martínez
Yes, my name is Cleotilde Martinez.
y vengo por lo mismo.
I've come here for the same reason.
He pagado mi renta y llega la manager a decirme que no la ha recibido
Even though I paid
después de
my
que ya la
rent,
cobraron.
the manager says they didn't receive it, even though they've already cashed it.
Y vengo aquí que por favor
I
nos
come here to ask you,
ayuden
please, for help
con los abogados.
with some attorneys.
Yo soy de bajos recursos.
I too am of low income,
Es difícil pagar uno en la corte.
and you know it's very difficult to have to pay for one when you go to court.
Eso es todo.
That's
Gracias.
all, sirs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gracias,
Thank
señor.
you. Thank you for your comments.
Sus comentarios.
I'm going to give public comment and on item 6.
Okay, item 6 isn't open as an item, but you can talk about it in general, so set the clock for a
General
minute.
comment then.
Please begin.
Thank you. My name is Sylvia Marroquim. I'm a community organizer with strategic actions for economic justice. So all these countless stories that you are hearing today, I hear them every single day. And yesterday that I was making phone calls, I received one that impressed me so much. There was this voice of a woman, but the name said Gilberto. And I'm like, Gilberto, how are you? And there's this woman, and she's crying. And she's telling me that her husband had died, and she wanted to know who had been calling, who had been sending texts to her. So to my surprise, yes, Gilberto has passed away, and now she has to fight the eviction. She, at that time, was not working, and all I want to say is we need the right to counsel.
Thank you.
And you have the opportunity to do
Thank you.
history today.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We need to move on to the next speaker. Hi, speaker. If you'd give us your name that you signed up under and the item you want to speak on.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Sasha Harnden with the Inner City Law Center. I'd like to speak on item 6 and general comment.
Okay, so it's not open as an item, but you can talk in general. And you might want to move the mic up a little closer to you. You're a bit hard to hear. Okay. Please begin.
A right to counsel is the right that makes other rights real. Too often, we see renters evicted from their homes through a default judgment, a misunderstanding about the court process, or failure to properly assert eviction protections for which they are eligible. Eviction is a special fast-track court process that moves faster than any other civil case, and landlords are overwhelmingly represented while tenants overwhelmingly are not. Research shows that a right to counsel would help effectuate the protections the council has put in place and produce benefits for all stakeholders. A right to counsel produces better case outcomes for households facing eviction if they can successfully navigate the court process, It mitigates the unequal impacts of evictions on communities of color, increases efficiency for the courts, confers considerable savings to local governments, and stabilizes our communities overall by improving housing security and producing better outcomes with respect to health, education, and a range of economic indicators. I urge every one of you to vote aye. Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure I missed the fun. Hopefully I didn't miss much. But sorry. Had to make a quick phone call. I was getting an important text.
Hello. Which item do you want?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
General comment?
Sure.
Ok. ¿Dónde está toda la gente que se
Good morning.
supone que nos deben de escuchar?
Where is all the people at that were supposed to be here to hear us?
Es
to
una
listen?
vergüenza que viene uno
It's embarrassing.
a exponer.
Because you come here to
Okay,
expose
let's-
yourself.
Let our translator come in every couple of
Perdón,
sentences.
que dé una pausa para que se le traduzca cada
They
segundo.
call them out.
Continue.
Puede continuar.
Es una vergüenza que viene uno a exponer las cosas y no hay quien lo escuche
Yes,
a
it's
uno.
a shame that you come here and expose
Son
your
unos
things.
cuantos.
and
Yo
there's
vengo de Lincoln Heights.
Not enough people here listening, just a few. I'm from Lincoln Heights.
Y vengo a hablar por los compañeros que yo todavía
So,
no estoy en esa situación.
I
Yo
come
he
to speak
ido
for my
con
peers.
personas,
I'm not in this situation yet, but I know of people.
he ido con personas a corte
I've gone to,
porque los
to
están
court with people
desalojando
when they get evicted.
y no tienen un abogado que lo represente.
And they don't have any attorneys
Y
representing them.
entonces es lo que vengo a pedir.
So I would
Que
come
por
here
favor voten
requesting
para que haya abogados,
that you please vote this in so that we can get attorneys representing us
para que nos ayuden.
to help us.
Ahora, otra cosa que vengo a decir.
There's one more thing I wanted to say.
Mírame bien.
Kevin, look at me.
No hagas lo que estás haciendo, no te vendas.
Don't do what you're doing. Don't
Porque
sell out.
ahí en la calle César Chávez, tú estás apoyando a
No.
los nuevos.
At Cesar Chavez Street there,
Personas que están comprando.
you come
y
and
yo lo
support
sé for
these
a
people that
fact.
come and buy this land. And I know, in fact, that
Thank
you do
you.
support them.
Thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Going in on Kevin.
Okay.
De Leone.
Thank you.
KDL getting it from the old lady. Uh-oh, here comes our
Mr.
homeboy.
Grabner, which items did you sign up for today?
28 in general comment.
I think you said 28?
Yeah,
in gen-
28.
Go ahead.
All right, so 28 is a motion. I don't oppose playgrounds. I mean, playgrounds are, fun, children's play at them. But what I do oppose is that this motion is introduced by Kevin De Leon. Kevin De Leon should not be getting any motions passed by this council. And we've been telling you that this is like the, fifth or sixth time in the last month or two I've had to do this, where I've had to oppose a motion that was introduced by Kevin De Leon. This should be automatic, that if you all are actually serious, look at me, John Lee, look at me, all of you. Finish your conversations. This is public comment period. So all 13 of the rest of you should be voting no on all of his motions if you're actually serious about getting Kevin De Leon to resign. So that's what I should see today. All right, moving on to general public comment. So first of all, I'll just say solidarity with all the people here for right to counsel. That should be passed. So what we witnessed just a couple minutes ago in this chamber was an act of anti-blackness from this council. You removed someone who was just demanding that the cops stop touching him. I mean, do you know what cops do? Why don't you just have, the cops just stop touching him? But no, you remove him. You banned another black woman today for demanding KDO's resignation. You are specifically targeting black people and doing illegal bans. Those bans are illegal. They're a violation of the Brown Act and city charter. We're unable to speak to the city attorney. You just walked right past Fobble. KDL, you need to resign. Oh, you need to start doing something.
Thank you, Mr. Grabner.
Okay, Nancy Villanueva.
Walk on home.
Hi.
Please identify yourself.
Por favor.
Why bag on Kevin? Because he's a racist.
Buenos
They know it.
días.
Good morning.
Esta es la segunda ocasión que vengo a hablar sobre el mismo tema,
So this is the second occasion I've come to speak on the same issue
para ver si es posible tener derecho a una asesoría legal.
to see if it's possible that they give us legal assessment or support.
Hace 20 años yo rentaba un apartamento
Guy's awesome.
20
Parkview.
20 years ago, I
Y
was
la
renting an
tercera.
apartment here on Parkview and 3rd,
pagaba $1,200,
and I was paying
dos
$1,200
recámaras,
for 2 bedrooms,
una cocina equipada con lavavajillas,
and the kitchen equipped with a
En fin.
dishwasher and everything.
pero tuve un problema, me operaron del corazón
But then I had a problem. I
Corazón
had
abierto.
to have a open heart surgery,
y perdí el trabajo.
and I lost my job.
Desde esa vez ando rentando recámaras.
So ever since then,
Y
I
ahora
have
una
to find myself
recámara.
renting bedroom to bedroom.
En la calle San Pedro y la 43,
Now I have a
Pedían
bedroom on San
mil-
Pedro and 43rd,
$1,300
and
por
they
una
want
recámara,
$1,300 just for one bedroom,
sin condiciones para cocinar.
with no other amenities.
Y
like a
no
kitchen.
quieren que uno esté ahí, quieren que solo llegue a dormir.
They don't even want you there. They only want you to come in and sleep there.
Better
Mi
come in with a
esposa es de
blowjob for
80
that.
años.
My wife is 80 years old. Where can we go during the day?
Y la dueña donde vivíamos antes, vivimos ahí 18 años.
Well, the lady that owned the
Y
property
le
before,
pagamos
You think
más
he's
de lo que
lying?
le costó la
And
casa.
we lived there
el
18
concepto de
years.
renta.
And
We paid
Speaker,
more than what the
Speaker,
property.
could we have your name too that
Sí,
you
señor.
signed up?
I mean,
on?
a
Señor,
one
por favor.
bedroom
So we
El
know.
nombre al que se les conoce.
Rodolfo
is
Martínez
1,500 for
Gutiérrez.
sure.
Soy del distrito 9.
I'm from District 9.
About that, you know.
Gracias, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, and he's right near
Hi, which
Figueroa.
items had you signed up under? Or, first off, what name did you sign up under?
Yeah,
And-
sure. My name is Max Sherman, speaking on behalf of Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles. Agenda item 6 and general public comment.
Okay, so it's just going to be general. So go ahead, please.
Thank you. The overwhelming majority of evictions are due to non-payment of rent. Due to one simple fact, non-payment of rent, if the city wants to stop evictions, the focus should be instead on direct rental subsidies that are owed by renters that can provide financial assistance to those renters so no eviction proceedings are needed and no attorneys are needed by either party. Measure ULA is being used as a justification for this motion, but has failed to be explained why this is being fast-tracked, while 70% of Measure ULA is for the creation of affordable housing, and that's not even being discussed by the City Council. Additionally, it's the opposite of good governance for City Council to consider this motion without having the result of the pending litigation be determined, as those available funds will not be released until that litigation has a decision. So we urge the City Council to vote no on this motion or hold until all other ULA programs have been discussed.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Remember, please let the speakers speak.
They didn't boo him? I figured they'd boo him. Dude, I'm watching. Dude, they have a woolly mammoth. You know, a guy dressed as a woolly mammoth skiing around in Mammoth. When he comes back, I'll just greet
Hola,
him.
buenos
I'm gonna
días.
show.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Suyapa Maldonado.
My name is
Vivo en el Distrito
Maldonado.
9.
I live in District 9.
Ok, yo soy dueña de casa. Apoyo a mis inquilinos. Muchos concejales no votan porque
And
tienen propiedades.
I am a homeowner.
Okay.
I support these tenants.
Momento.
A lot of counselors.
Momento, please.
Momento,
Un
señora,
momento,
para que
por
le
favor.
traduzca. Yeah, and a lot of counselors, they don't support because they're proprietors. We need them to support. Now, I want to thank the counselors.
Speaker. Momento.
Señora, un momentito, por favor, para que se traduzca.
Translation.
Yes, I want to thank the counselors that have passed this motion.
Otra cosa, la ley de anticoso de los dueños de propiedad
Another thing is this law,
está muy débil.
anti-harassment of
Necesitamos
the
que
tenants.
se implemente con fuerza.
It's too weak.
Momento.
We need you to implement or forcefully
Castiguen a
support
los
it.
dueños de propiedad
Penalize the proprietors for harassment
porque están abusando psicológicamente contra los inquilinos.
because they abuse the tenants psychologically.
Necesitamos que les den un castigo
We need,
el cual
we need them to be punished for this
sea económico
economically
o lo que ustedes quieran implementar.
or however you see fit to implement.
She
Se
is
los
passionate.
pedimos de corazón
This
y
is
que apoyen les pido nuevamente que
what I ask
apoyen
with
el
all my heart
abogado para nuestra gente.
to support attorneys for our
Gracias.
people. Gracias, señora.
She's got that Latina fire.
Thank you. Gracias.
Mothers and families being evicted at
And
the
she
moment,
ain't lost
continuously.
it.
Gracias.
She was probably fiery as a little girl, and she's fiery as a older lady. Queenie, thank you so much.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle.
Sasha
For
Harden.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Hugo Van Cormerno and Georgina Serrano.
Much love from Indigenous Canadian sister. Thank you. It's good to see you. Shout out to you and the rest of Canada. Hopefully you are all well on this beautiful
Hello.
Wednesday.
Hi. Hi. Which items did you want to speak on?
General comments? Sure, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Dear Los
Thanks,
Angeles
Queenie.
City Council, first, my name is Hugo Ivan Comunera Corona. I am an American citizen. I was born in Van Nuys. I am 36 years old. I have Bible college education. I worked as a caseworker, a driver, and I lived and worked as a Christian missionary in Mexico. I've also served with local churches, in quotes, in LA County. I ask of this council for the prohibition of homosexuality in Los Angeles City to be established as an ordinance. There is an article series I created that offers biblical education to help prohibit homosexuality. Apart from the help it gives a Christian to stand for Christianity and against homosexuality. It's been shared with 2 council members here and our mayor. It was also included as a comment public posting yesterday. Prohibition of homosexuality will surely preserve and advance Christianity, protect and enforce human potential, and safekeep and grow a civilization. It is imperative overall that America prohibit homosexuality. According to the CIA website, Nigeria, a country that prohibits homosexuality as it pertains to an online article by BBC, has the highest birth rate in the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Interesting. Interesting, yeah. I mean, I would assume so, but I don't think they understood him.
Which
So,
items did you want
because
to
most
speak
of the
on?
people
Good
there
morning. My name
would be
is Georgina Serrano, community
angry with that
organizer
statement, I would
de
assume.
Inquilinos Unidos. Thank you, all of you, for listening us. So, as a community
Oh, there goes a little
organizer,
girl.
every day I
go run.
heard
Oh, I thought she was gonna
about
run
the
in.
families suffering, as you heard today, this morning. And if we don't have a strong support to the tenants, we will see more people on the streets. Please help me to continue help the families to have a roof on the head. So we need the
Not
families
this week, wise guy.
restful, renew, and a home. Imagine yourself don't have a place to rest when you finish your work today. It's stressful. Please support right to counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Nothing really good came out, wise guy. So I'd rather just save the money until something fun comes out. You know, they're starting to print too many
Nancy,
garbage products, and I don't buy them
Villanueva,
all. So
Pablo Estupian, Pamela Augustin, and Sasha Harden.
I mean, there's some decent hockey stuff, but I don't think people want to watch me open
Hi,
hockey
so
cards.
If your name was called, please come up. Okay, all right. We see you. Hi.
Hola, muy buenos días.
Hello, very good
Mi
morning.
nombre es Nancy Villanueva y estoy con la organización ACE
My
y en
name is
coalición
Nancy Villanueva. I've come with the ACE organization in coalition,
con el derecho a un abogado.
requesting a right to legal representation.
Antes queremos agradecer a nuestros campeones por presentar esta moción, la señora Rahman y el señor Blumenfield.
First, I'd like to thank our champions for presenting this motion, Ms. Councilor Rahman and Councilor Blumenfield.
Sus colegas
Your colleagues here.
necesitan que los apoyen para tener esta moción fuerte.
They need your support in order to strengthen this motion.
En realidad es una emergencia el derecho a un abogado.
And this really is an emergency, a right to an attorney.
Como organizadora me doy cuenta que día a día llegan familias de bajos recursos
And as an organizer, I see them daily, every day, families of low income
con una demanda de desalojo.
with eviction notices.
La gente no sabe qué hacer.
People don't even know what to do with them.
Gente con niños, personas de la tercera edad.
And there are people with children, advanced age.
Díganme ustedes, ¿quién los representa si muchos de ellos no saben ni leer?
So tell me who's going to represent so many people. Many of them don't even know how to read.
Ryan,
En
he's
realidad,
asleep over
este
there
es
in
un
your other
caos
room.
tremendo.
Oh, no,
It
he's
is
in
a
there. Hold
tremendous
on.
chaos.
Si no queremos que incrementen las familias en la calle, tenemos que tener el derecho a un abogado para todo
And
inquilino.
if we don't want to see homeless families in the streets, we need
Gracias.
the right to
Gracias.
representation for
Gracias.
tenants.
Thank you.
Gracias, señora. Gracias.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to hold out on you. He wasn't there. I didn't even notice him come in.
Hello.
Good morning.
Which items did you want to speak on?
Public comment.
Please go ahead.
Pavel?
Good morning. My name is Pablo Estupinian.
The
I'm
cup is the
campaign director
best.
for Right to Counsel, and I work at SAGE, Strategic Actions for a Just Economy. Also wanted to thank the leadership of Councilmember Rahman, as well as Blumenfield for introducing this motion, and as well as other council members who so far have supported. Also want to thank all the tenants here who have made their voices and stories heard very loud and clear. So thank you all.
You know, SB Authentic is
and then
nice.
lastly, this is a no-brainer. There's 18 other cities out there with Right to Counsel. They all show the same results. There's less evictions filed.
That's it, Matt.
Cases filed, less evictions, less homelessness, and it saves the city money. So the city should definitely invest in Right to Counsel and make sure that folks have legal representation so they're able to stay in their homes. And, you know, I'm here to urge City Council, be a leader in the country, show how to really tackle homelessness and help prevent it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, SB Authentic. The cup is the best, but really expensive. And for a
Dr.
cheap, fun
Belay.
rip that'll get you a couple bucks back is O-Peachy. It's $50 a box, $55 a box. It's
Hello,
cheap.
Council.
And it's
My
fun.
name is Pamela Agustin, and I'm speaking on item general comment and 6.
Okay, so it's going to be all
It's a lot of packs.
Okay, and
Old
so I'm with
schoolish.
part of the Right to Counsel Coalition and Eastside Leads. And I
Thank
just
you,
wanna
Queenie,
share
for
a little bit
another,
about
or
the
for
context of
another
evictions.
one.
Evictions are violent.
Thanks, Queenie.
Sheriff deputies may come to a home, and with guns drawn, they can remove a family in under 10 minutes. Sheriff lockouts are
Thanks,
carried out
Queenie. I'll
from
give it to
5 a.m. to 5 p.m. during a weekday. And from the moment that the sheriff notice is posted on a door to inform the residents to expect this action, a tenant has already endured months of anxiety from completing answers to unlawful
Thanks,
detainers
Vid.
or experiencing the fact that knowing that they don't have legal representation. Already, the eviction process is scary. As an organizer, I have gone to court with tenants. Often, they don't understand the language. This adds to their distress, and opposing counsel pressures them to make harmful
Soon, King,
move-out
soon.
deals. Having the support of an attorney in court ensures that a tenant will not just stay in their home, but it will also change the current power imbalance in the courthouse. Please support Right to Counsel. Also, Kevin De Leon, Eastside Leads is against you continuing.
Thank you. Thanks, Speaker.
Look, he's gone anyways. He's not even sitting there. He took off again. Go take a shit. He's drinking too much coffee.
Okay, Dr. Belay, Professor Pepra,
He's out back taking a shit.
Sasha Hardin, and Maria Legret.
Katie up and eating corn, huh?
Yes, good morning, council members. Good morning, council president. My name is Dr. Balay with U.S. African Institute. Myself and a few members of the African diaspora communities, have been coming to the chamber, demanding just, respect and dignity, from the city administration and the city council members. We've been demanding,
Oh,
for
he's
many
back.
years. I'm a community organizer, for many years, 10 plus years. We're just demanding, to get, some resource and support so that, we can be able to, build, open, a community, resource center here. And they're talking about, eviction. The black community and the, African diaspora communities, have been, facing an eviction.
You too,
and the
Shaki,
center
thank
would
you.
be able to, provide a legal counsel, to our communities. And also, LAUSD is, on strike for 2 days, right? And then most of our students, from the African diaspora communities, they don't have a place to go. But the center will be able to provide, tutoring service or like, some kind of academic, support for the students. But we don't have this, resource center, and we are demanding the city council members just to respect us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, there's so many people in there, they can't get to it. It's a packed day. You know what I mean? But they'll get to them. They have
so
to.
If you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and which items you signed up for.
My name is Professor Kofi Pepra. I also signed up for general public comments.
Please begin.
Just to follow up with my colleague, we've been coming here almost every Wednesday asking that please listen to us, because the African community, we need a resource center, in the sense that there are so many problems going through our communities and they don't have anywhere to go. We don't have any representation everywhere. And last week I went to one community, the Sudanese community. Everybody's like, where can we get resources to take care of our people? All we are looking for is a place for our people to be able to provide those services, because currently, just like you are saying, the LSD is on strike. A lot of our people don't even have a place to go. So if we have this center, we'll be able to provide them with all those resources, tutoring, as well as providing them all the services they need. So please, we want some people to reach out to us. Very few have reached out to us, but we want the whole city council to be part of this movement, because we are serving the city as well. So thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
He said
okay,
LSD. I think LAUSD is what he's talking about.
Stacy.
Not drugs.
Sometimes dipped in embalming fluid. And me and my friends would laugh and giggle and eat all the cookies. It was terrible. Terrible.
Okay, hi. Which items did you sign up for today?
I'd like to speak on items 1, 2, 26, 28, and general public.
Oh, yeah, the singer.
Great.
Who's
So
your
you have
daddy?
3 minutes for those items.
Cigar Bollinger, everybody.
Please begin.
Great. So items 1 and 2 are regarding business improvement districts. I think it's about time that when we look at things involving business in the city, how to improve the business district, because we spend a lot of taxpayer dollars supplementing private entities and making sure they can generate revenue. So when we're looking at these motions, are we asking the businesses, are we helping? Are they providing their employees with thriving wages and benefits, or are they providing the lowest wages possible?
She is
are
Banana
they
Lady.
engaging in sustainable activities, or are they draining our resources and poisoning the air or the water? We have a way of just sort of throwing money at things to incentivize business under the guise of jobs and the economy, but then when those jobs don't pay wages where the workers can actually afford to live near work, what happens? We get traffic congestion because people have to live far away. We get evictions because people can't pay for the roofs over their heads. So it's always disappointing to look at these motions that involve business and see the workers just completely left out of that conversation. So I'll move on to item 26.
Okay.
So this is transfer and appropriate $85,000 in Council District 4 portion of the Neighborhood Service Enhancements line item, General City Purposes Fund, extension of services provided by DACO Management LLC to assist in identifying locations and planning for the eventual construction of affordable and permanent supportive housing. That's a lot of words to say we're paying this company $85,000 to pick a spot and shoot the breeze. It doesn't say that this money is going to build housing. It's paying, I think, a consultation company, which is also, by the way, getting a no-bid contract, which is confusing to me. It says services provided by DACO Management are an expert in technical nature, and so basically they shouldn't have to bid. But I noticed on their website, their little mission statement at the top is your partner for all of your for your income, property, and commercial real estate needs. So it's weird to me that we have a company that their whole shtick is income, property, and commercial real estate, and we're like, these people are the ones to help us with affordable housing. Let's give them $85,000. And I'm still waiting to hear back on what happened to $150 million we sent back to the federal government to HUD, because that would sure be helpful for building affordable housing. And 28 was just to say, I don't even know why we're entertaining Kevin De Leon's motions. because, I mean, we know why. He's a racist, and y'all promised you weren't going to do that. So moving on to general public comment, I think it's really interesting that the few landlords we've heard from today are so desperate to not give tenants legal counsel, not just because they're desperate to evict them, but because the landlords do really illegal things all the time and get away with it because there's just no oversight. So it's not just that they want to kick everyone out of their homes, it's that they don't want to get caught for the illegal ways they run their properties. But since Kevin's in chambers today, obviously I need to sing for y'all, so I'm glad Ryan's here to hear this, because I love Ryan. He's my buddy. I don't know where you went, Ryan. You are the worst. You are a racist. You are the reason we're all making noise, so please just give in. It's a choice you're making, enabling this guy. You'll lose come election day. Just wait and see. Fuck you, Kevin.
Okay, is there anyone else in chambers that wishes to speak? Has not
Kevin took off. See, you need to get a refill on that coffee.
All right, please come forward. Come on, we want to make sure we save some time to take some calls as well.
You better be saving them calls. You ain't got nothing to do all goddamn day. You don't do shit all goddamn day.
Okay, we have one person.
Somehow you need some more time for
Two.
something.
Okay, please.
That you ain't gonna do nothing. You need to get home quickly to do nothing.
Please come to the microphone.
Fuck
state
out of
your name,
here. You
and then
motherfuckers ain't
speak
even
up.
been sitting in your seats to do nothing, to listen to nobody.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Verónica.
But you need to get
Soy
out
del
of here.
Distrito 1.
Veronica. I'm from District
Pertenezco
1.
a dos organizaciones,
I belong
a ACES y a LATU.
With two organizations, ACE
He
and
tenido que
LATO.
buscar dos organizaciones para que me defiendan del dueño que me ha querido desalojar
And I've
en
had
alguna
to seek
ocasión.
help from these two organizations to protect me from the proprietor who wants to now evict me without any
Ustedes
notice.
están en esos puestos para cuidar de nuestra ciudadanía.
You're in the position to care for the citizens,
Necesitamos ese apoyo de ustedes.
and we need your support.
Habemos muchos inquilinos de bajos recursos
There's so many tenants of low
y los
income.
edificios que ustedes están patrocinando en nueva construcción
The buildings that you sponsor or the new constructions that you sponsor
están siendo sin control de renta.
are being done without any rent
¿Qué
control.
hay con esas personas de bajos recursos
So what's going to happen to the
que no
low income
tienen el
people?
sueldo que ustedes tienen?
They don't have the same wages that you receive.
No podemos pagar un apartamento
We can't pay for apartments
de $2,000.
over $1,000.
Necesitamos más abogados
We need more attorneys
para que representen a los inquilinos de bajos recursos.
to represent low income tenants.
Así como la señora que pasó con su baby, hay muchos más casos que están siendo injustamente desalojados.
Just as this lady that came forth to speak with her baby, there are so many other cases for people that have been unjustly evicted.
Yo también gané mi caso de desalojo.
I've also won my eviction
Ahora
case,
organizo a inquilinos
and now I organize
a que
tenants
se empoderen
to empower them
y puedan luchar por sus derechos.
so they can fight for their own rights.
Look at them on their
Gracias.
phones, not even paying attention.
Okay.
Look at them.
Well, we've taken over enough. So we got
Hellcat.
one more public comment.
See the guy sitting here? That's not him, but you see the chair that's like out a little bit that nobody's sitting in? If there's a guy that sits in there with a gray suit, that's him.
I'm going to be a general public comment for item 6, I believe it's going to be to help them out.
Yep.
Came here to bring attention again to the city clerk's office. They were ready to push back the video release date because they said after the 21st, said we didn't read it right. But enough pressure made them release it. Thank you for that. But now, tenemos que hacer más atención a la gente que viene aquí, como hacen cuando dan para los premios obtenidos. You have to pay more attention to the people that come and speak to your council, the people that put here. Kokorian, you said in a video, this is a horseshoe to give the attention to the public, not just for award ceremonies. That's the only time we see everyone at attention.
Right?
That's embarrassing.
Smart
Moving
guy.
forward, Raman, thank you guys for putting this out. And Price, thank you for sending the city attorney out there to help those people. But again, give the people the attention. You put it on a video. You're here for the people.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, but he
We've
speaks
had over
better
an hour of
English
public
than I do,
comment, in the
and he
chambers
speaks.
Here. We're going to go to the
good
phones for another, let's
speaks,
say, 10 minutes.
you know, Spanish well as well. So, bilingual.
Have we given the
and-
instructions, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, we've read them in, but I'll read in the phone number. To
Oh,
call
here we
the
go.
call.
Thank you.
You guys wanted the
Please call
call-ins. Here we go.
669
Please,
254
please,
5252.
goat boy, you want to call in? There you go.
535-8466.
There's the
Then
number.
Press pound and press pound again when prompted for participant ID, and then press *9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. And again, you have 1 minute per item to speak, up to 3 minutes total. If you wish, 1 minute for general, and the items open for public comment are 1, 2, and 3.
Please,
8,
goat boy.
11, 12,
Please, I
and
need it.
16 through 28. You can talk about item 6.
You were
or the
fabulous
other items I
yesterday.
didn't list
I need
in
the
general
encore.
public comment. So I think we're ready to take the phone.
All right, let's take the first call, please.
First caller, what items would you like to speak on?
Here we go. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, we can barely hear you. You're a little soft, so if you can speak a little louder into the microphone. Which items would you like to speak on?
I want to speak on item number 6.
Please go ahead. You have a minute. The floor is yours.
Okay, I am against providing the legal counsel to the tenants. The reason is they already have Shriver law as well as the legal aid helping them. I would like it for a change, city council representing, paying the attorneys to represent the owners. The reason is we are not getting paid the rent. We are not getting the rent increases in. We are not able to evict them. Fine, we don't want to evict them. They are our customers. We want to keep them. But this is ridiculous. They have not given us any benefit. No registration has been excused. No SCAP fee has been excused. No property tax has been reduced. How come? We are providing them the housing and nothing getting in return. This is ridiculous. So you keep on providing them further and further, and these are at-fault evictions for which you want to provide the attorney. This is not fair. It's not done this way. This is wrong. So I'm totally against item 6. It should not be provided. If they can, why can't they afford it? If they want to live there.
Thanks, Speaker.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's a landlord. He's pissed. He's
caller.
right, though. Why don't
What
they give him
items would you like
tax
to speak on?
abatements or anything like that? You know, tax help in some way, so that way the.
Hey, yeah, I like to speak on item number 6 and all available items, which I know is futile because you've already decided what you're going to do.
Thank you, Jim.
So do
Jim
you
Eaton,
know
thank you.
the other items that are open for public comment? They're items 1, 2, and 3, 8, 11, 12, and 16 to 28.
You guys
so
are
do you want to speak
assholes,
on
dude.
those before general public comment?
You're all going to be sitting in hell with me. You know that, right? Right next to me, burning.
No. Again, I like to be given time to speak, though, because this is kind of important.
Okay, so let's start with item. It sounds like you want to talk on item 6, so we'll set the clock. For a minute. If you want to look at the other items afterwards, you can.
I need more than a minute.
So Speaker, this is how it's going to work. If you want to speak on items 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 12, 16 to 28, you'll get up to 3 minutes. If you want to talk on other things, including item 6, you're going to get 1. So what do you want to do?
Well, you were giving other people an opportunity to speak on item 6 in general comment.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to set the clock for a minute. Please begin.
Disenfranchised.
Disenfranchised.
First of all, the notion that every landlord has a legal fund to pay legal fees is ridiculous. I wish you would stop equating every landlord to big corporate America. We do not have legal budgets and legal departments to aid us. Some of us represent ourselves independently. If you're going to give legal representation to tenants, you need to give legal representation to small business landlords too. As I have said to the housing department, there's a big difference between someone that has 5, 6, 10 units versus someone that has 100 units. And if someone's not paying rent, it all equals the same thing. You have no money. So please stop acting like we don't have problems or issues. But what I want to get to is that while you have declared a state of emergency on homelessness, you need to declare a state of emergency on drugs.
Thank you,
Because
Speaker. Thanks, Speaker.
wait a minute.
No, no,
I haven't got to my general comment.
That was your general comment. Next caller.
Next caller.
Got
What
her.
items would you like to speak on?
It's fucked up.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi. Which items would you like to speak on?
I believe it's item 6, and again, I appreciate the fact that you've allowed me 2 days in a row to have my First Amendment. But
Sure. So
item,
minute.
public comment, please.
Yeah, please go ahead. You have a minute.
All right, as a landlord, I understand both sides, and I have a piece of property that the tenants destroyed, and it's going to cost me $50,000. But that's nothing compared to losing the place that you live in and the place that your family lives. And so I have to support the tenants and hope that we can do a better job of protecting not only the tenants but the landowners. But again, this is something that has been before the city council many, many times, and yet you folks are always responding and not being proactive. Again, please, let's really resolve this issue in the city, and let's really focus on getting everybody basically taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Landlord.
Next caller, please.
Next caller. What items would you like to speak on?
Well, he's being even keel. He's being fair. I think a lot of landlords are that way.
Hello. I'd like to speak on item 6, please.
Sure, you have a minute. Please begin.
Great. Hi, my name is Sophia Garcia. I'm a tenant organizer with Eastside Leads, and I've been supporting LA tenants through eviction processes over the past year.
She should do phone sex.
The reality of the situation is that the pandemic has destroyed people financially. It's killed their family members, and it's left them with no options, leaving them very vulnerable to landlord harassment and eviction. The landlords have enough money to own houses they do not live in. That is not the same as people who only have one place to live, and evicting them without counsel, which many of them assume they do have because of due process law in the U.S., is a violation of human rights.
Just like you assume that
So I
they own
ask
the
you all
properties.
to please be in support of right to counsel, because that really just is the bare minimum. Nobody should be evicted without.
Thank you.
So you assume that the landlord owns the property too. I hate to
Next
break it to
speaker.
you, but
What
I'd
items
say
would you like to speak on?
60% of the properties that are around here aren't owned by the people that are either living in them or
Hello?
renting them out.
Hi, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak on?
Okay, general public comment, please.
Sure.
Talk to
please go
Wells
ahead.
Fargo, Chase Bank.
Okay, I am
Bank of
calling
America.
regarding Councilmember Hugo Martinez freaking people out in the Echo Park area. I don't understand how you and Councilmember Rahman can support Sanctuary City, which is great, but refuse to help the kids of hardworking immigrant parents have a safe passage to school by opposing 4118, or threaten them to shut down a park that they're now able to use for the first time. Everyone should hear your town hall. Most of your constituents were hardworking Spanish-speaking immigrants begging you not to take that fence down. I think you need to look into your heart. What will you provide as far as quality of life for people who are hardworking immigrants trying to give their kids a better life? And by the way, one of those parents was a vendor like your parents, Hugo. So hopefully you'll have a change of position and a change of heart. God bless the children. They deserve better. Thank you.
That's Marianne from the Howard Stern Show.
All right, next caller, please.
Next caller. What items would you like to speak on? Caller with the last 4 digits, 6671. Please press *6 to unmute yourself.
Hello.
So caller with the digit 6671. If you're there, press *6 right away. Nope. Okay, we're going to go on to the next caller.
Next caller. What items would you like to speak on?
Crazy Alice.
Caller with the last four digits 0766. Please press star 6 to mute yourself.
Okay. Caller with the digits 0766. If you're there, press star 6 right away. Nope. Okay.
Nah, the pillow phone hasn't called in, Peppa.
Next speaker.
The jitterbug.
What items would you like to speak on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Which items would you like to speak on?
Item 6 and general comments.
Okay, so item 6 is not open as an item, but you can talk about it in general, so we'll set the clock for a minute. Please begin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Leon, an organizer with Community Coalition in South Central LA and part of the Make LA Home Coalition. You've heard enough from all these residents who are being evicted, their families on the streets, and we have 7 to 8 houseless people dying every single night. This is a responsibility for all of us. 9% of LA is black, and over 30-40% of the household population is black. Our Latino numbers have exponentially grown over the last few weeks. We are all responsible for the people that are dying every single night, and it's specifically targeted for our black and brown community who have been systematically disregarded for decades and decades in places like South Central LA. We need this to be done now. It's an emergency. It's under your hands that people keep dying every single night. The right to counsel is the least thing that we can do to protect lives today. Here in support of item number 6. Thank you for your time.
You know, I hate to break it to that guy, but there are poor white people as well.
Speaker?
That do live in impoverished areas too, of color. Isn't poor just
Hi,
poor?
Sean, which items would you like to speak on?
Public comments.
Sure, go ahead. You have a minute.
A lot of people are getting tired of waiting for the phone for 2 hours. You should do the phones first. City Council District 6, Isaac, Kim, or Skelly for City Council. And think about the LA Unified School Districts. They're on strike, and you people, the rents, you talk about the rents. I don't think you give a damn about the LA Unified School Districts.
Not one word yet today. Not one word about the kids. Not
Okay,
one.
let's take 2 more calls.
There's 500,000
Next
kids
caller.
not going to
What
school.
items would you like to speak
And they
on?
haven't said one fucking word about it.
Hi, good afternoon. Kevin DeLeon, who assaulted a Los Angeles resident. General public comment, please.
Absolutely. You have a minute. Please go ahead.
These landlords who come in and cry victim at city council meetings fail to mention the fact that they didn't qualify. They obviously didn't for the state's 18 months of rent and utility relief under housing is key because they make too much money. They aren't the victims here. And in honor of Women's History Month and as a precursor for Friday's City Council item number 26 on Martin Lawrence, I'd like to ask any council member introduce an amendment to change the proposed location of that star to the location of the existing star honoring Donald Trump.
Oh,
found
my
in
God.
Council File
This idiot.
06-3258. Donald Trump, who attempted a coup against the United States and said, quote, "I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy." End quote. Happy Women's History Month, everyone.
Thank you, Speaker.
Fucking guy, dude. Rent free,
Next
dog.
speaker.
Ah,
What
there
items
he
would you like
is.
to speak on?
There he is. Look at the elephant, or the woolly mammoth, right there in the line. You see him?
Hi, I'd like to speak on general public comment, please.
Skiing in
regarding
a
item number
woolly
6.
mammoth outfit.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Popple. Hi, good morning, Council. Actually, good afternoon. Now, I see that most of the people are coming and complaining about landlords. What most of these tenants don't understand is that landlords have mortgages to pay, property taxes to pay, utilities to pay, and maintenance costs.
Which all went up.
Now, the one thing that these tenants do not understand
Thanks to the inflation.
is that the landlords are doing everything they can to avoid foreclosure. Just imagine if the apartment landlord property ends up in foreclosure because he has tenants who cannot pay rent, back rent. That's going to be a huge problem in LA. We're going to see more displaced people because of people who do not want to pay their rent. So we need to recognize that in the city council chambers as well. And that's one thing the city needs to understand as well. And I'm urging you, council members, to sit in your seats and pay attention during public comment. It's disrespectful to the constituents.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to close public comment at this time. We've had almost 2 hours
Punk
in
motherfucker.
person and on the phones.
We've heard enough of you guys
so
opposing
we'll close,
us.
phone lines and close public comment on all items. I want to thank everyone
Bullshit.
For your comments.
Get loud in
Madam
there.
Clerk, which items can the council vote on at this time?
Fucking assholes.
The council may now vote on items 16 through 28 and 1 through 3.
Bullshit motherfuckers.
And just to clarify, you're closing general public comment as well, correct, Mr. President?
Correct. We'll close general public comment.
Thank you.
We don't want to hear from
what
anybody
about
no
item
more.
34? Is that something we can vote on at this time?
Hopefully they'll start to try to take care of business and people will get loud. It's the only thing you can
I
do.
no longer need that on special.
Fucking shit show.
Is that okay?
Of course, that's okay.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
So would you repeat again the items that are available, Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Then we can vote on items 1 through 3 and 16 through 28. For 34, if you'd like, I'd read the settlement into the record.
Yes, please.
For item 34, in the case entitled Walter De Leon et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $850,000 in settlement.
Okay, members, any comments? Any other comments?
It's like Eunice
on the
something.
items before us, let's open the roll, close the
Cali
roll,
girl.
and tabulate the vote.
Eunice
13 ayes.
Hernandez or something.
Okay, thank you. What's next, Madam Clerk?
Item number 4, called special by Councilmember Park.
Okay, is Councilmember available? She is available and she's coming. Councilwoman Park, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President.
Oh, this chick is
I
nauseating.
appreciate the opportunity for you to allow me to ask some questions about an issue which leaves few of our neighborhoods untouched and is acutely felt in the 11th District, impacting our residents, neighborhoods, our natural environment, as well as the individuals who are experiencing homelessness in their RVs. Thank you, too, to the CAO team for their report on the citywide framework to address homelessness. I appreciate the work that you've put into this, and I appreciate your willingness to answer some questions today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you
The
for
first question I
participating
have
in the
is that
grift.
in the more than 20 large-scale RV outreach operations, how has your team prioritized and responded to locations that create public safety risks or have a history of nuisance?
Good morning. Good morning, Council. Brian Buckner, the City Homelessness Coordinator in the Office of the CAO.
Brian
Thank you for the opportunity
Fuckner,
to
everybody.
speak this morning. Very excited about this report, both items 4 and 5, which just want to note really should be considered together as they're complementary of each other. So thank you, Council Member, for the question. The answer is for the 20 operations or so that the CAO's outreach team has led to date, the primary driver for the selection of the locations has been council priority. And I don't want to speak for the council offices that have asked for those kinds of operations. I'm sure there's a number of factors that go into it, but I do know that public safety, sanitation, the conditions of the vehicles or the environment around the vehicles is an important factor that council offices have considered.
Okay, thank you. For the city-operated safe parking locations, can you explain to us why it is that we are excluding RVs and why it is that those are not operated on a 24-hour-a-day basis?
Yes, thank you for the question. The city's current safe parking sites are, as you mentioned, not 24 hours. The city has been in ongoing conversations with the county to partner on some pilot, I don't know if it's fair to necessarily say that they're pilot operations, but to partner together on some 24-hour operations. And I think we've run into some challenges with identifying some locations that would be suitable for 24 hours. Generally speaking, it is a programmatic decision that based on the nature of the locations where the safe parking sites are operating. Oftentimes, those programs are sharing space with some other daytime functions or daytime
There's a lot of lights in there.
building or parking space, and so they haven't been available for 24 hours. Plus, there's additional considerations when you're operating a 24-hour site, like you have to bring additional services and support on site. So the cost then increases, and cost is always something that we do consider. And then for RVs, I think the challenge has been programmatically making decisions on how to address some of the issues, like would we provide a connection point for sewer or power for the RVs or not. Again, these are policy decisions that council would have to make. We wouldn't make those in the CAO's office, but generally those are the questions that are considered. Would we provide connections? What happens if a vehicle is not operable and is not able to either make it onto or off of the site? How would the city address those? Would the city provide any kind of financial support to provide maintenance or support for the vehicles? So it's generally some of those programmatic decisions that have, I wouldn't say they're obstacles, but they're just not decisions yet that the city has made.
Don't you
And
think they
not
should have
obstacles
thought
that
about
can't
that?
be overcome.
You know,
Correct.
shouldn't this have all been thought of beforehand?
Thank you for that information as it relates to the city-operated sites. Your February 10th report indicates that you are working with LAWA, Metro, Caltrans, and the county to find additional opportunities for RV parking. Can you tell me what are challenges you're running into? Have you made any progress on that front?
Well, we're going to put the next one in front of your house and see how you like it.
At this time,
whole
I
RV
believe
park.
there
See
are
how
a
you
total
like
of
it, ma'am.
26 Caltrans, Metro, and LADOT lots that are being considered and are right now being evaluated by.
Sir,
Mr.
please sit
Harlan.
down. Sir, please sit down, or you're going to be asked to leave.
Mr. Harlan,
To leave
this
the
is your
meeting.
last warning.
Mr.
Do
Harlan,
not
that's
shout out
my
again, and don't
property.
be talking
So you
from
can't be
the
putting shit on
I'm
fucking
sorry.
Mr. Harlan's property.
So
He owns that over
again,
there.
Are a combination of LADOT.
He owns
Caltrans,
everything,
Metro
remember.
lots, and they're currently being evaluated by the Bureau.
Don't be
of
putting that on
Engineering,
his property.
And they're looking at everything from the size and the number of spaces that would be available. I should say, of those 26 lots, they're all being considered right now for temporary or short-term RV storage, not for RV safe parking. But they're being looked at so that there wouldn't be any services on site. People wouldn't have in and out access to their RVs, but they're really just looking at storage to support the other kinds of housing-led operations across the city.
Well, since we're already in the process of evaluating those sites, can't we evaluate them for both possibilities?
Yes. Sorry, to be clear, we've asked them to prioritize looking at them for RV storage, but have also asked them to look at RV safe parking as well.
Okay.
We've asked them to provide site plans and even rough orders of magnitude or cost estimates for what it would cost to install the infrastructure necessary to support those kinds of operations.
Could only imagine how much money they've wasted and gotten nothing done so
Final
far.
question. The February 10th report also refers to the State Encampment Resolution Fund grant, which I understand that LA has applied for. Thank you. for the
Tornado
initiative
rips
there.
through Montebello,
When do you
damaging
think
multiple
you'll hear back on that
buildings.
funding, and are there any
Tornado
other
in
funding
Montebello. I
resources
didn't even
that
get
we
the
might be
warning.
able to tap into?
Yeah, so we're excited about the application. We did apply.
One calls it a land spout ripping the roofs off. The other one calls it a tornado. So which is it?
The RV encampment along Jefferson there.
Which is it?
As well as a few other adjacent and connected
I love it.
locations for which we know the people who are living there tend to move between a couple of locations. We expect
It was a
according
water
to the
spout
state's,
turned to a
funding
land
announcement,
spout.
Their decision should come 30 days from when we submitted the application.
Tornadic
in February, so
activity.
we would hope to hear by the end of this month.
But not a tornado.
Though we applied in the first of three application windows, and so it's probably fair to say that somewhere by the end
It
of
says
this month,
land spout. I'll put it
by the
up.
end of the second
I'll
application
literally
window,
put it up, layer cake.
we would hope to have a decision at that point.
Actually, I
Well,
want to
thank
put
you
it
so
up because
much
I want to
on
show
that
you how
front,
they.
and I can tell you
I want to show you how they word it.
constituents in CD11
The difference.
and me are all waiting on pins and needles for that.
Let me get this
update,
shit
so
out of the way
really do
first, hold on.
appreciate that. Colleagues, I hope that with our instructions today, coupled with the findings from Councilwoman Rodriguez's successful pilot in the 7th District, we can create a standardized process for addressing RV homelessness and working with the public and private partners to safely turn underutilized lots into storage for RVs. I hope that we can lock arms with the mayor and her team and use the power of the emergency declaration to bring inside safe to these locations. I hope that we can work with our service providers to do outreach and achieve our ultimate
That was
goal
4 different
of
ones if you
moving
noticed that,
people
right?
into permanent housing. I am here to work with you on that.
Land
And you
spout.
will have a partner in my staff and I to get that work done. With that said, I also want to give voice to the residents of my district who, like most Angelenos, are simply put fed up with the status quo. In my district, that includes environmental degradation, like what is occurring at our environmentally sensitive habitat at the Bayona wetlands. Garbage and sewage are being illegally dumped every day into our protected marsh and our storm drains.
By those people that you're
All
just
over
talking
my
about earlier with the RVs.
RVs, garbage, and debris on our sidewalks are choking our roadways and creating dangerous conditions for motorists and pedestrians.
And killing property
They are
values.
taking up invaluable parking in some of our most congested commercial and beach corridors.
Tornadoes
Crime
live.
by and against those living in the RVs is commonplace. Explosions and fires in RVs happen far too frequently. Calls for service to LAPD and LAFD at these locations are staggering. And tragically, the loss of life resulting from the inherent danger of permanently living in these vehicles, many of which are inoperable and could not conceivably pass basic safety or
Yeah, I just see
environmental
video.
standards, is the sad reality of the conditions that we are allowing to occur. And just to be clear, this isn't every RV, but our tools for dealing with the ones that are creating real quality of life issues, especially in our residential neighborhoods and near our parks and our schools, are inadequate and fail to meet the urgency of
The
this
huge
moment.
tornado damage.
So to the residents of my
Whoa.
district, I hear you.
Whoa.
I stand with you, and I am going to
No
do
cars
everything
flipped over.
that I can to strike the right balance.
Some old ass roof from
Brian, I wanna
1982
thank
ripped
you
off.
again for
Got
your
it.
work on this report. I look forward to the updates that we're going to receive, and I look forward to the opportunity to make real and immediate progress on this crisis. My team and I remain committed to doing what it takes to solve this, and I am incredibly grateful for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Park. Members, any other comments?
Bob's
Councilwoman
live.
Plum,
Live on
followed by Councilwoman
patrol.
Rodriguez.
You're speaking on this or the next one?
Does it matter what you have to say? I mean, really,
Great,
we need to get the fuck out of
thank
here like
everyone. I
you
don't
need
have
to
a
get the
question
fuck
for you,
out of
Brian.
here.
I just wanted to give a little background to this motion to everybody else here. I introduced this motion in November because nearly 22% of the city's total unsheltered, unhoused population are living in vehicles and RVs. And we need a strategy that takes this issue on in a straightforward way. We need to look at the challenges that are ahead of us, and we need to be able to marshal the resources to be able to get us to real outcomes. The city's primary response to vehicular homelessness, particularly in RVs, for many, many years, has been a reactive one, not one that focuses on resolving homelessness for residents of RVs, and that's been a real problem. We put up bans on single streets, a sign goes up, and then RVs move to another neighborhood. But homelessness is not resolved for those individuals, and the RVs never move off of our city streets. Another strategy has been to offer housing options for people who live in RVs. But unfortunately, if you're not doing a lot of accompanying work in order to actually buy back the RVs or to ensure that there are storage options for RVs, housing options either can be rejected because RVs are valuable to the individuals who are living in them, or people move indoors and then new individuals move into those RVs. This is a big challenge for us as we take on homelessness. And if we are to think about having a comprehensive, holistic strategy on addressing homelessness in our city, one that is not different council district by council district, but really takes on the issue head on across the entire city, we are going to have to grapple with the unique nature of vehicular homelessness, particularly for people who are living in RVs. One thing that I really appreciate about this report is that it gives us a big number, $141 million, that we need in order to build out some of these broader solutions.
She loved that number.
Programs for decrepit RVs, storage programs
Grift.
for RVs that people want to store, setting up safe parking that actually accommodates RVs, which would
Grift.
include having 24-hour parking and potentially having the ability for people to plug in and to connect to sewage. We don't have those resources right now. But unless we have a collective understanding of what we need to actually do it, we'll actually never get there. We've been talking about RVs in the city for a very, very long time, and we haven't made that progress because we don't have that big number and that holistic strategy. So I'm excited that we can take the first steps to thinking about that, and now we can take steps to actually putting those resources together, to asking for what we need from our state partners and from our federal partners, and to making it clear amongst ourselves what it's going to take to really take this crisis on, instead of just saying, gosh, isn't it frustrating that we have this problem that we seem to never be able to take substantive action on. So thank you all, and I encourage an aye vote.
You know how many? Do you know how many RVs you could buy for $141 million?
Thank you, colleagues.
And
First
just
of all,
give them
Brian,
all
thank
new
you so much
RVs,
for
or most
your
of them.
Collaboration with my office, because yes, we have been frustrated. When I took office back in 2017, I
here we
actually
go.
created the first RV safe parking.
Of course you did.
Coupled with services at North Valley Caring Services in North Hills. We identified that this was in fact the root problem, is that you can't just restrict parking for these recreational vehicles in a neighborhood, absent being able to create a pathway to enable people to identify themselves, to come out of that type of housing environment for themselves. It's not a traditional encampment, but also be coupled with the resources, but enable a space that they could actually park safely and get the services that they need. We discovered very quickly, because, you know, while we can talk about the frustrations, we were trying to get to the root of the problem in CD7. And we did so. And I want to take a minute to thank my team, Christian Tafoya and Paula Basignana, because we were working very closely with the service providers to try and get to the root of what the issues were with respect to those that are living in RVs. We discovered very quickly that the conditions of these recreational vehicles did in fact pose not only a public health hazard in some respects because of the sewage and accompanying issues, the dilapidated or the inability for it to be mobile in many cases. We also discovered, and the precipice for the conversation, and I want to thank Mr. Lee, and I know Mr. Blumenfield, a number of us, continue to work on where do we find the interim sites for the disposition, working with LAPD and all the different resources that we had at our disposal to do it. You're not talking about an inexpensive proposition. It was very complicated. And so I'm really happy that while we can talk about all the problems associated with it, we actually have a plan, and it's in item 5. How we actually do that consistently, comprehensively across the city, based on the model that we created and pioneered in my district. Working with the nonprofit service providers, working with LA Family Housing, West Valley Yes,
She's
identifying
just a
the
pioneer.
properties and the parcels that can have the interim parking site that facilitates the disposition once individuals say yes to housing. So I'm going to reserve I'll wait for item 5 because these items should
Yield your
taken
time
together.
already.
As you mentioned.
Fuck outta
it
here.
Should have been taken together because
Patting her own back all day long.
The resources are only one part of the conversation. The plan is another. And what I'm proud to say is that based on the work that we did and working with you all to help memorialize what works in item 5, we will in fact, hopefully with the support of the resources from the state, have the resources to fund what we need. But in item 5, have the plan and the process in place that will create greater facilitation of individuals coming out of those RVs and not moving them into another neighborhood, but actually getting rid of them and moving folks into housing.
I want to see District 7. I want to go over there with my cameras, drive up and down, and let's see how many RVs and homelessness.
All right.
I want to
Any
see what
other
we see
comments,
there.
members on
Because,
this
again,
item?
she's the pioneer.
Let me just say,
her
Brian,
team
again, we
did
thank you
so
for your
awesome.
report. I
They've
think it's
championed it
struck-
all the way.
struck by how it is
They've
such a
created the
comprehensive
mold.
approach, and we definitely appreciate that.
So let's see.
In terms of
Should be no
safe
homelessness
parking,
left.
I'm proud to be
Homeless,
pioneered
no
that
hope,
back in
no more
79,
homeless left.
With 2 sites, one at the district office and the other at the convention center.
Roseanne
and,
Barr.
Both those sites certainly have been have proven to be very helpful, very useful. We have also been trying to grapple with the RV situation, and so again, this
You ain't been grappling nothing
gives
but a
us chance to have
fucking
comprehensive
sugar
policy.
donut
Certainly
and a
appreciate
fucking
the efforts,
coffee in the back.
In CD7.
It's the only thing you grappling, son.
In those Park as well.
Fuck out of here.
In CD9.
Grappling
we've
a
sought
bear claw
to
this morning. I've seen
transform a lot that was initially identified for housing to create a storage space for RVs. In fact, a space that we'll share not just with the
We're gonna
city,
put them
not
all
with
in
the
your
city,
driveway.
But it's
See,
this kind of report. I
it
think
ought
is
to be
very
just
important for us
fine.
to pull together the resources that are going to be necessary. That are going to be important if we're able to implement these programs in a way that benefits those who are living in these untenable vehicles, but also the community as well. Councilwoman Rahman, were you standing for another comment or just standing?
Yeah, I think you're right. I was just going to sit down.
Yeah,
Well,
please.
thank you. Again,
Yeah,
thanks for
sit
your
down.
leadership as
We've
well.
heard enough out of
Any
you.
Any other comments, members? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote on this item.
13 ayes.
Okay. Thank you, Brian, again. Let's move on now to item number 6, Madam Clerk. Item 5, I'm sorry. Item 5.
Come on, get loud up in there. Right here, fucking.
Who's on the queue? Okay.
Item 5 was called special by Councilmember Rodriguez.
All right.
Here
Councilwoman
we go.
Rodriguez.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
And
So,
she's
colleagues,
back.
again, what we have before us in item 5 is the plan of how we get there. From 2019 to 2022, we saw a 41% increase in the number of RVs on the streets of Los Angeles. In my council district, that's where we actually saw the greatest pressure in terms of what we so often see on our streets with respect to homelessness. It was the mass increase of recreational vehicles along many of my corridors. In collaboration with West Valley Guests and LA Family Housing and LASA, we created an antidote to that circumstance. Since the pilot was deployed beginning in 2022, in 1 year's time, the CD7 RV pilot program
In
has
1
removed
year's time?
34
Wouldn't it be in
RVs
1
from
year's?
our
I
street.
guess it would be 1 year's time.
44
Yeah,
individuals
it'd be right.
that have
She's right.
already been placed into housing. We've got 70 individuals enrolled into our program. which are in the
No, Sarah,
process
not
of
till
getting
Friday.
housed. So we have 26 individuals currently awaiting housing placement. But we've got everybody in the pipeline. We've led with outreach. We've led
Right,
with
T?
services. And we have
They are.
facilitated a much more
Surprised they
rapid
listen.
way of facilitating the disposition
they
of
don't.
the RVs.
She doesn't.
So that we can get to the root of the problem, is that they're not going to be left behind or available for repopulation. That these are circumstances and in many cases pose not only a huge public health risk, but in some cases a tremendous public safety risk on our streets, obstructing.
Yes, E, thank you so much. I
some of the bike
appreciate
lanes
you.
and some
Yes.
of the other access
I'm
issues
not
that
just
we need to
whistling
make
digs,
sure
you
that
know.
we're providing
I'm
in our
singing
city.
you a Bayou
And so,
Serenade.
through the
I
adoption of this
guarantee.
motion, we are going to
Thanks.
be a step closer to having a citywide process. And I just, again, want to give thanks to my team and all the
Happy birthday
partners
one
that
more
were
time.
involved. My thanks to the CAO's office for working with us to really outline what is a citywide process to comprehensively address this challenge that we are facing.
Do I own an RV?
We
No.
can find all the lots that we need, hopefully.
Never been in an RV, really.
that
I
has
don't
been
think
our
I've ever
biggest
been in
challenge.
one. Well,
To
that's
place
not true.
these,
I've
place
been
these
in some,
RVs
like, you
that
know,
are in
concerts. Sometimes they'll use those,
really
like
not
at
in a
festivals.
condition that actually warrant any
Sometimes you'll have
value.
those and go party in those instead of like,
So
or
it
these
makes it
little
impossible for us
bungalows,
to dispose of them. They will
you
sit
know,
there
so
for
they
a
can
long,
remove them easy out of the
lengthy amount of
fields.
time. But with the
I've never spent
cooperation
any
of
time in
those
one.
who have ownership and are in possession of these RVs, with their cooperation, with the services that they're getting, we are able to better facilitate the disposition of these. So that
33.
they are
You
no
made
longer
it.
posing the public
Just think,
public
yes,
safety
you're
or health
halfway to
risk that they have
66.
continued to pose on our streets. The expenses associated with the sewage removal that we have to deploy with the Bureau of Sanitation. We have continued to triage in absence
Oh, yeah, just been
of a
a
solution.
DMV. That
Well, item
sucks.
5 is our solution.
Don't you have,
And I want to thank my team.
Oh, no, wait.
and,
If you have to do the
really happy
license,
that,
that's
again,
the only
this
thing you
is
have to do.
another
AAA
example
doesn't
of
do
a
that.
pioneering effort, first with our encampment to home operations that we deployed at Paxton and Bradley, now dealing with one of the most critical issues that we are facing citywide, and that is the population of RV encampments. I'm really happy that our city family has all coalesced around this, and again, both with LASA, LA Family Housing, and
All
West
patting
Valley
each other on
West,
the back, and they
we've
haven't even done a
identified
fucking thing
the
yet.
Partnerships that will help enable a tremendous acceleration to resolving this crisis. And so I want to say thank you to everyone, and I ask for your vote.
It's just bullshit.
Okay,
They
members,
haven't
any
even
other
done anything yet. They're
comments on
still
this item?
voting on the shit.
Seeing none, let's open the
They've
roll.
done nothing, but they're busy patting
Close
themselves
roll
on the
and
back.
tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, that measure
Just
passes.
wild.
Next item, please.
It's fucking wild, dude.
That would be item number 6, called special by Councilmember
That's how
Hernandez.
delusional they are. They're proud of themselves for doing nothing. That's how delusional they are. Straight delusions of grandeur. Fucking wild, dude.
I had
People think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think a couple of us had remarks on this. I really just wanted to say
fuck.
thank you to everyone. I
know.
introduced this motion with a bunch of partners, council members, Blumenfield, Hutt, and Soto Martinez. But we really, I think, have to thank the people who are here, who made ULA happen. That is going to, and they're all here. Many of them are here right now, so give yourselves a big round of applause. This motion would not have been even possible without the funding that will come from ULA, and that really came from the people who put that measure together and the people of Los Angeles who voted for it. And for me, when we talk about living in Los Angeles, so much of life here for so many people is living in precarity, particularly precarity in housing. And we have designed a system that has reinforced that on every front. And I think what we can do with a right to counsel and all of these new protections that we've passed in this council, which I'm so proud of, is to take away a little bit of that precarity, to make life in Los Angeles a little easier, a little calmer, a little more peaceful. And gosh, don't we want to do that for our families? So thank you all.
Golly
for all
gosh,
support
we
and encouragement I
do.
vote today.
Oh, golly gosh. Come on, girl. Come get it.
Councilwoman Hernandez.
Oh, golly gosh, we do.
Council President, thank you, Councilmember Rahman and the team that put this together and put it forward. Colleagues, I would like to speak today about the importance of right to counsel and this critical step we're taking towards providing equitable and just access to legal representation. Just like legal representation is provided to people who cannot afford one in other legal cases, we should also do the same for tenants, and in these cases here. Over 60% of households in my district are renters, and most are rent burdened, meaning a lion's share of their income a month goes to rent. I've heard directly from family after family ask, who are concerned about renter protections and ask how they'll stay housed if they're served an eviction notice. We took an important step when we passed the tenant protections package, but it's just that, a first step. We recognize today that too many people in our city still lack the necessary tenant protections to remain housed. And while the mayor, this council, and her team have been taking tremendous steps into getting people into housing, we still have thousands of people who are unhoused on any given night, and that's likely an undercount. There's no doubt that our city is in the midst of homelessness and a housing crisis. And one of the biggest important pieces that I want to uplift here is that if we do not provide the necessary legal resources and protections, we will see an eviction wave. We will see a pipeline of eviction to homelessness. I mean, it already exists, but it will be definitely flooded with people, particularly in districts with a lot of tenants. More than 42,000 evictions are filed annually in LA County, and a majority are from the city. And in 90% of these cases, tenants facing eviction do not have legal representations. This would create equitable and just access for them. Enshrining a right to counsel will be a critical stopgap in the eviction to homelessness pipeline. It's time that we ensure that every tenant facing eviction has legal representation, not just those who have the wealth and resources to afford it. Colleagues, we must do everything we can, and I urge you to vote yes on this. And again, deep gratitude to my colleagues who put this forward. Thank you.
Man. You guys are horrible.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments, members? Mr. Soto Martinez.
Yeah, thank you so much to all the different colleagues who have worked on this. Bob, Councilmember Blumenfield, Councilmember Harris-Dawson, Councilmember Hernandez, Councilmember Rahman, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, myself, and I forget somebody else. But Councilmember Hutt, who's not here today. And also thanks to the folks who are here, do the work every single day. I want to echo the same words as Councilmember Rahman. But you know, right to counsel to me is about just trying to even the playing field, right? We know that evictions happen, but if we look at cities like New York, you know, when they passed the right to counsel, we found out that 84% of renters represented by a city lawyer were able to remain in their homes. And I said this in the past, lawyers just enforce the laws that are on the books. They're not magicians, they can't undo the law. And so what it shows is that if we just allow tenants to have a fair fight, most of them are able to stay in their homes. And so I'm very supportive of this. Now this is just asking the housing department to do a report back. This will come back to us, it will come back to committee, but I encourage everyone to please keep a look on for how this progresses. We know that when we do these things, it's not just the council members who make decisions,
they don't know
the public and the desires of the people. And so please be up to speed on that and look forward to hopefully bringing this home. Thank you so much.
It's just, I'm telling you, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope when you give people that thought that they don't have to pay rent and pay for lawyer and pay for anything anymore.
Today, we do know how important
when does it stop?
Assistance is. It's critical. Certainly in CD9, where a majority of folks are renters, we acknowledge this. For the past 2 years, we've had a legal assistance program.
Yeah, it's socialism. They want everything paid for them.
But small businesses. And so if if you're live in CD9 and need to avail of those services, please contact the district office, 323-846-2651, or make sure you speak with someone from my office today before you leave. We know this is critical. Legal assistance is critical to making sure that folks are able to stay in their properties.
Does it come down to being like,
to have their rights? And
you know,
so
landlords having to be social or socialist or anti-socialist? So the anti-socialists, you know, you got to put it down on the form so they expect you to pay rent.
And with that,
and the socialist landlords will just let you live there for free.
Close the roll and tabulate.
Maybe that's what should just happen. I don't know.
13 ayes.
Okay, that measure passes. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is item number 8, as amended by motion Park, Yaroslavsky, Rodriguez.
Okay, any comments on this item, members?
I'll just have to look for the socialist properties.
Park?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Squatters matter too.
I want to thank the housing department for their
until they're in your house squatting, right?
As well as the Housing and Homelessness Committee for expeditiously moving it through committee. Today's action is another step to fulfill our promise to serve and care for those who have sacrificed so much on behalf of us, our U.S. military veterans.
That you do nothing for.
I recently attended the opening of Building 207 at the LAVA campus. That's its latest permanent supportive housing project.
Here comes the
that
Pat.
will put a roof over the heads of 59 unhoused and at-risk veterans.
59 whole people.
Along with wraparound services. However, in this moment of celebration, I also learned in speaking to our veterans and to Dr. Stephen Braverman the executive director of the VA Greater Los Angeles Healthcare System.
Excuse me, Councilwoman. Please, as you're exiting, please do so quietly as to not disturb the rest of the meeting.
No, disturb it.
Thank you.
What she's not telling you is there's a whole bunch of camp land next to the VA, and they had these people live out in tents out there on
Dr. Braverman, that
on the
many
lawn
of those
instead of
units
housing them
at
inside the
that
VA
we have
extra
just
room that they had in
recently
there and
completed
facilities
and
that
are
aren't
in the
used.
pipeline would be out of
There's a
reach
theater.
for veterans who, although unhoused, were disqualified from those units due to their veteran and other benefits exceeding the 50% area median income requirement for those units. Now, those are benefits that our veterans have earned for serving our country, but ultimately weren't quite enough to keep them out of homelessness. These individuals are veterans who are 100% disabled and 100% service connected to the VA, and the very people who will benefit the most from living on the VA campus with access to the VA hospital. Now, while this was not an issue when voters first passed Triple H back in 2016,
And got $2
the
billion.
VA recently implemented a cost of living adjustment of 8.7%, the highest in 40 years. The unintended consequence, however, is that some homeless veterans who are in desperate need of housing, who have 100% disability ratings, are ineligible for the housing units that we have built and are building on the VA campus.
And whose fault is
So
that?
upon learning about this issue, my team and I worked with our housing department, the VA, and the affordable housing developer to chart a path forward to ensure that we could house every veteran currently living in interim housing at the VA. So these are the veterans with the most acute needs, and they would only be able to receive a housing unit per the Prop H regulations if a unit was designated as affordable rather than permanent supportive housing. It would also require that the AMI limit be increased from 50% to 60%, and that the amount of the Triple H subsidy be reduced accordingly. So as this will require a reduction of the Triple H money available for this project at the VA, the opportunity to make this shift is expected to be limited but critical to the housing that is necessary for those veterans with the actual highest need. That is the amendment that Councilwoman Yaroslavsky and I put forward today. And this is a critical change that fills a very important gap. With your yes vote today, 6 senior veterans who are currently living in the tiny homes on the VA campus will be able to move into housing because of this amendment.
Oh, 6.
We just can't let a bureaucratic technicality bar veterans who have given everything to serve our country from the opportunity to have a safe and stable home. Thank you, and I ask for your
You guys are disgusting. And notice she was talking, like I said, 2019, remember,
any
guys.
Comments? Any other comments?
In 2019, they
Seeing none, let's open the roll.
2019, they took,
Close the roll and tabulate the vote on this item.
you know, $1.9 billion from us in tax money.
Okay, that passes.
And they're still
Next
now
item,
fucking
please.
around 4 years later.
Item 9 called special by Councilmember Yaroslavsky for comments.
Realistically, that's 5 years. 19, 20, 21,
Thank you, Council
22,
President.
and
Colleagues, I
23.
rise today to ask for your aye vote on this motion.
5 years
which would
later.
make it easier for houses of worship to build critically needed housing, homeless housing on their properties. Houses of worship in Los Angeles have been at the forefront of our region's homelessness crisis for over a century. Today, religious institutions, including my own synagogue, ECAR, in the 5th Council District, are working hard to add housing to their properties. It's very challenging, but it makes sense. So many of our religious leaders teach us about the power of love and demonstrating our faith by helping those who have the least among us. In LA, that means increasing the supply of stable, affordable housing. This motion is going to help us better understand the impacts of potential state legislation, Senate Bill 4, on helping us deliver new affordable housing to the west side, and it will provide key recommendations for how we can better foster ties between affordable housing developers and faith communities that are trying to do the right thing, that are trying to be part of the solution to addressing our twin crises of housing and homelessness. So I'd be grateful for your aye vote. Thank you.
Where's my charger, man?
All right, do any other members wish to be heard on this item?
I'll put that one.
Seeing none.
Don't know what I put. Yeah, they got diamond necklaces. They got pearl earrings and shit.
Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
Wonder where the money went.
11 ayes.
Took the kids to Barbados.
Very good. That takes us next to item number 11.
These people are just too much.
And Mr. Blumenfield, do you need to be heard on this? Okay. All right. So this was...
all right, Calamity Girl, have a good one.
Motion to approve recommendation B as amended by Mr. McCosker and Mr. Blumenfield. Mr. McCosker, do you need to be heard?
Guys, I'm going to go try to
On
find
that
this
item, let's go ahead and
keyboard
open the
charger
roll.
really quickly because this shit...
Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
I need to plug it in.
11 ayes.
Be right back in 1 minute.
Thank you. That'll take us next to item number 12, the financial status report. Mr. Blumenfield.
Did you take it? You better stay there.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Wanted to say a few words about the mid-year financial status report, or the FSR, especially because we have a lot of new members. This is your first FSR. So basically, every year in late May, as we all know, the council and the mayor adopt a budget for the upcoming fiscal year. That budget reflects our collective best estimate about the costs of running a city, based on the cost and also on the revenues. But in reality, it's a prediction. It is not a spending plan based on actual dollars in. And often the reality of the money coming in and the expenditures going out doesn't align with our assumptions. So periodically during the year, we do a true-up. The Budget and Finance Innovation Committee and then the full council reviews and adopts these FSRs to make the needed adjustments to the budget and to address overspending, underspending in the departments and shortfalls, or sometimes, if we're lucky, surpluses in revenue. For the most part, the FSR doesn't reflect new spending priorities. It simply makes adjustments that were needed to accomplish the programmatic and policy goals that were established in the adopted budget. Each FSR also provides council with information about the status of our reserve funds and overall issues of budgetary concern. And for that reason, it's especially worth looking at pages 1 through 15 of this FSR, especially regarding the higher inflation rates and the interest rates. Overall, the FSR in front of us is fairly routine. Our general fund is on target, although there are real concerns about the softening real estate market, about the banking crisis, and those impacts on our revenues, much of which will be felt down the line. We don't immediately feel those impacts because the tax revenues are generally lag these realities on the ground. This FSR makes adjustments totaling of about $183 million, including a $25 million transfer from the reserve fund. There's about $129 million in projected overspending, which in the context of an $11 billion budget, to put it in context, is about 1%. And that's actually fairly routine for what we go through in these FSRs. Also, a lot of the overspending, in some ways, this time around is compensated because we also had underspending, and I'll talk about that as well. But much of the overspending that we've had is outside of our control as a city, such as the increased cost in petroleum, higher utility bills due to the spike in natural gas.
Don't be looking at my booty crack.
We didn't expect to have to bake in the cost of a special election in CD6, but we have to pay for that. So the FSR also helps us as a council assess how we're delivering on our budgetary commitments to the people of Los Angeles. In this way, it's also important that we look at the underspending. On the surface, spending money sounds great. Less money, that makes it easier to meet our budgetary targets. But it's important to realize that often means that if we're underspending in a city department what we ask that department to spend, that means we're not providing the services that we promised at the beginning of the year. So it is a big red flag when we see these underspending, even though in a budget like this, the overspending, the underspending, kind of with a little bit of adjustments, it kind of all works and we do this adjustment. I do want to flag that we have this as a real issue in front of us. And what that manifests itself in high vacancy rates. And part of that has to do with difficulty in recruitment. Part of it has to do with a bottleneck in personnel. And these are real policy issues that we need to address as a council as we move forward. But overall, I just want to assure everyone the city remains on track in a healthy fiscal state. And this FSR has gone through the budget committee process and reflects those adjustments that need to be made to true up that budget as we go through the process. And then pretty soon we're going to be into budget season where we not only are truing up, but we're actually making policy direction choices. And with that, I ask for your aye vote.
Councilmember Harris Dawson.
I'm wish to withdraw Amendment 12A.
Very good. Thank you very much. And thank you, Councilmember Blumenfield, for that overview and for the Budget and Finance Committee's leadership in getting us to this point. Is there anybody else wishing to be heard on the FSR? Seeing none, let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and
See, that's his little spot right there.
11 ayes.
That be moved forthwith, please.
Yes, all items are forthwith today. Without objection, that'll be the order. And then on
your order.
Item 34.
Oh shit!
Yes, that is correct.
This is live. They're arresting him live on live patrol.
Business is now before us, Madam Clerk.
Just got pulled over by the
Council
sheriff.
has motions for posting and referral.
Bob's deputies. This is live in Minnesota. Viewer discretion is advised. Dude has a gun. Is that a gun? Was that a gun or a phone? Might have been a phone.
Right.
It's a phone.
Councilmember Rahman.
Thought it was a gun. It's a
You wanna
phone.
Be heard now?
Yes, a
Okay.
brief
Councilmember Rahman is prepared with a special presentation for today, and you have the floor.
Oh, the special presentation. Oh, yeah. He don't want to go.
Okay, do you guys want to come stand?
He don't want to go. He don't want to go. He don't want to go. He don't want to go.
We're all here for this. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you all for your patience. I know it's been a very long meeting, so I appreciate all of you. And I did want to say that some of our visitors today have actually been here since 7 in the morning, and they set up.
2266 Call my girlfriend and get the car, man. Tell me out.
Tango. This is Medic 1045 Tomlin Avenue.
Well, now we're hearing in the car, guys.
Having a seizure.
616 copy.
Sorry to ask him for his girlfriend. Get the car.
Afternoon 1457.
I think that's him thrashing around.
2759.
Yeah, because they're not showing anything anyways. We'd rather not see that and hear that garbage.
Copy.
Girl, can somebody... We will. We'll talk to you, man. Have a seat.
HG that can you come inside? Last one.
Well, if he's asking to get his girlfriend to come get the car shouldn't be stolen.
I just brought the vehicle. I haven't transferred the title name, so it's still in the guy's name, man. I live right there on Rainy, bro. I'm just trying to get some cigarettes. I understand that, but you're canceled it. I haven't done anything, bro.
5281.
You're stop sign. I didn't run the stop sign.
Stop.
5281.
Stop. Okay. System Auto 2618 Charlotte Street North phone call request.
And that's what I'm working on right now. That's what I'm saying, sir. I need to have the car to get my license back.
I understand that, but you cannot be driving around with that status of your license, right?
I'm not doing anything, sir.
The keys in the car? No, you're fine now, man, but we have to take you. We are taking you on this. You have a canceled IPS license, man. That's nothing to play around.
I'm a damn near go to prison for this
You're not
shit.
going to, it's a gross misdemeanor.
Yes, I'm on parole. I'm on probation.
I understand that.
This is
but
gonna fuck me totally, man.
unfortunately, you have to deal with that. But I should need you to put your feet in. Today, you got to deal with that. You chose to drive. All right?
Okay.
We're going to work with you, so we have to first verify whose car it is, okay? So once you put your feet in, I can deal with that. Good? All right.
558.
Hopefully you ain't got nothing in the car, my bro. That's only gonna make things worse since you're on parole or probation, which you kind of said both. I didn't know which one you are. I think he said he said both, but I probably he's on probation, not parole. But if he's on parole, he's really fucked. If he's on probation, it won't be that bad, I don't think. If it's such a small little thing, but yeah. Apparently he doesn't have a license. The car's not registered to him. And I'm assuming the car either is unregistered or came back funny, right? So, yeah. Yeah, man. When you riding dirty, they're gonna catch you. This is St. Paul. St. Paul, Minnesota sheriffs.
Smoke.
I know. Tornado touched down in Los Angeles. No, it was in Montebello. Not in LA. What's LA County? But it's not LA City. But yeah. Well, I'm going to say more of like a water spout that made landfall. Which apparently they call a land spout, which I've never heard of. Because if you look at the damage, it's a little bit of a roof ripped off. That's it. You notice there's a whole lot of cars around that roof and not one of them is flipped over. I don't know if you've ever seen a tornado, but I have. Now, I've never seen one with my eyes like legit in front of me. But I have seen many videos, and most of the videos I've seen, whether it's actually moving or the destruction after, any car in its path is straight flip the fuck over. If it's not taken 4 blocks over from where it was sitting and then flip the fuck over. Certainly wouldn't just go by an entire row of cars and not do anything to them, except for just rip a roof from 1982 that probably should, old ass shingle roof that should have been changed anyways. That's it. Of course, it's the sensationalism that they feed you. I showed you on my phone. There was 4 major news networks, and every single one of them had a different way of explaining it to you. And only one of them called it a tornado. The other ones did not. And has nothing to do with me. I showed you on my phone. I can't fucking Photoshop that. You could plunk fucking $1 billion right in front of me and say, dude, just Photoshop that shit. The money's yours. And I'm telling you, I don't think I could ever get it done. Like, at some point, like 20 minutes in, I'd just be ready to pull my hair out and be done. That's it. I'm done. You keep your fucking money. Get the fuck out of here. Give me a bowl. Need to relax now. That's exactly what would happen. That's exactly what would happen. I know it's not a tornado, Casimiro. I'm just waiting for it. Is Todd in here? Todd? Todd's got to tell you. It's got to be it's official when we hear from Todd. Tornado warnings yesterday or next to my house. There was no tornado. Flash flood after flash flood warning. No flash floods. Was there a lot of water yesterday when it was raining, like in the gutters and shit? That's what happens when the water comes from the sky. When water falls from the sky, the gutters fill up. Especially when there's garbage packed in them and they don't, filter properly. I'm just saying that because I know most of you guys don't know that. It's amazing, right? Just to let you know, guys, they muted it. I didn't mute it. So, they have muted it. All right, sweet. It's connected now. At least that's good. Well, that's good, Billy. I'm sure they're listening to, like, you know, pertinent information they don't want to give out. And I can tell you, it's just nothing but a fucking... They're over here patting each other on the back and clapping, telling each other what an awesome job. I guess they're about to give them the basketball. The autographed basketball from all these fucking idiots. Presentations and proclamations. That's what time it is, guys. And I see Sarah and Sammy and Josh and Billy and Timmy and Tommy and Johnny and Stevie. Oh my gosh. You might as well just hold up the mirror and just look through it. Fucking A, dude. Just can't. Like, it's nauseating just to listen to them. They really are golf. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, yeah, dude. Nowruz? Oh, man, what's his name? Mr. Sachs is going to... How do you spell that without a C? You can't. See? Look at that tall-ass motherfucker. He's a good 1.5 taller than the rest of the crowd. Yeah, see, they're just there. He's in the back of the car. I'm sure they're saying some stuff to him, and, you know, they might be running his information. That's coming back, and, you know, they don't want to give out his personal information like that. They get in trouble. Can't disseminate his information. So, I don't know. Let's go back to these ding-dongs, I guess. We can do that. Listen to these buttholes.
Persian community, I know we've always been here. And you've helped us mark this day, but it's true that it's very important for us this year, particularly because of the woman life freedom movement that is unraveling in Iran as we speak. So I was lucky enough to be up at state on Monday. I was the Woman of the Year for my Senate district. And I thank you. And I was able to, thank you. And I was able to tell the senators up there a little bit about Nowruz. They don't have this tradition. Kudos to you guys. But I was able to express some of the same sentiments that have been said here, and that is that Nowruz is celebrated by about 200 million people around the world.
Should have just
at
got
least
rid of
a
the
dozen
W.
countries around the world. It predates Islam. It's not a religious festival, but one that celebrates renewal. It celebrates looking ahead, leaving the bad behind. And this year, with what unfolds in Iran, we are particularly hopeful that chambers like yours and states across these United States will notice the movement in Iran that's been inspired by women, and that you'll help us pronounce and amplify the voices of women in Iran who are really trying very hard to gain some elemental civil rights after the death of Mahsa Amini, which I'm sure you all know about. So I want to thank Councilmember Rahman for taking on this day and for working very hard over the course of the last few weeks to make this happen. I want to thank Councilmember Yaroslavsky for considering
Golf clap.
renaming a square, an intersection in Westwood, Woman Life Freedom Square. A lot of us here have written in support of that, and we hope it happens. And my own council member, Tracy Park, who's definitely a friend and an ally of the Persian community. I thank you all for giving us this time. I bid you a happy Nowruz, and please keep the hashtag Women Life Freedom in your social media posts, at the very least. Thank you.
Thank you all for all of your moving words. I also just wanted to give a special shout out to Ryan Ahari on my staff.
The only guy wearing a face diaper. The only one. Look at all of them. He's the only one.
So thank you. Thank
the
you,
most
Ryan.
frightened
And
up there,
with that,
ladies and
thank
gentlemen.
You all. Happy Nowruz.
Well, thank you very much.
The most
Councilmember
frightened,
Rahman.
everybody.
And Mariam,
Oh, no,
just
I'm
wanna
sorry.
say,
There's another one. There was a
I'm
chick
sorry
there.
to hear
I didn't
that
see
the
her.
California State Senate does not have a Nowruz tradition, but I do want to note that the California State Assembly does, in fact, have a Nowruz tradition,
have one?
and that was created for the very first
I
time
missed her.
by
Look behind
my
the
former
girl
chief
who was
of
speaking.
staff,
There's
the
one lady
first
who has one. There, you can see her.
Persian-born member, first Iranian-born member of the California State Assembly, Audrey Nazarian, who started the Notary's tradition in the California State Assembly. So
That is
the
wonderful
Senate
to
needs to
know.
catch up with the Assembly in this case.
So, A, my regards to Assemblymember Nazarian, who's not there anymore. And B, we did set up a half scene this year at the State Senate, so maybe it'll be year one of a long tradition.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Well, and it's another form of renewal, I guess, that the State Senate is finally catching up. And it's so wonderful to welcome all of you here again this year. Notaries every year for us is a joyous moment.
They're a
in,
tornado.
the City
Thank
Council
you, Bobby
chambers.
Martinez.
This is a time when this council
Appreciate you,
itself
man.
is going through, I think, a time of renewal and where our city
I mean, it
government
already would've
is
hit my
feeling that
house,
as
but
well.
thank you.
And even in some of the darkest times that we face here in Los Angeles, even in some of the darkest times that the people of Iran are facing, Nowruz gives us an opportunity to have hope for the future, and it's a reminder that we have the capacity to have renewal and rebirth. And so we thank you very much for giving us that spirit of renewal here again today. Councilmember
spirit.
Rahman.
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to say we also have this beautiful. I love the work that the city calligraphists do for these resolutions and these. Oh, he's here. Oh my goodness. So he. Albert. I just want to look at how beautiful this is.
Bring him up there. Somebody who has some talent,
And
ladies
so
and
when
gentlemen.
somebody, when we mark some, come here, come. This is so gorgeous. Look at this. It's incredible. So I wanted to thank him. And it's our honor, and I think when you do this kind of beautiful work, it really, and the city presents this to you, it means something, and that's because of the handiwork that you put into it. So thank you all.
Bravo.
Let the picture goes.
Nowruz Mubarak, everyone.
I assure you.
All right.
$10,000 frame from Michaels.
Do you have any other announcements, members?
Oh,
Councilmember McCosker.
Well, they
Very
put the
quick
sheriff.
announcement. In the
His cam his mic's back on.
We're ready whenever you are on our end. All right.
No, they didn't let him go. He's back there.
All right. Sorry for being muted so long.
It's loud. Hold on.
He obviously didn't want you to hear everything he was saying.
Thank you all again.
Kind of recap, as you guys saw, he
Thank you very much.
went past the school bus that had stop sign. Big no-no. Like I said, it's a big pet peeve for myself.
Tomorrow,
I know
we
Joe
have
Kill as
our
well.
fifth,
That's definitely one
community
every day we're going to
meeting. We'll be
stop.
in San
We both
Pedro
have
at
kids,
Tech
and
Park.
you have to pay attention to those school bus arms.
In addition, he had some issues with his license, which is why we.
He's just in a separate car.
Why we unfortunately had to detain him today. He will be going and getting booked for that. It's called cancel IPS, inimical to public safety. It's a gross misdemeanor. We explained it to him. He was, a little upset at first.
Thank you, Callie.
Confused why we stopped him. We explained everything. Went into some detail. I think he gets it now. We're not, unaware of the issues of how hard it is to get your license back. I know you have to go through some hoops, but when your license is that status, you gotta take care of business before getting on the road. So
Yeah, can't be driving.
It's true.
So he got transferred off to one of our partners, and they'll take care of that end. We appreciate it, as always.
This is real Cops Live, unedited, not waiting for it to make the cut. Raw and real, man.
Yeah, so we got partners sitting on the tow, and one took custody of him. So
could you imagine?
Guy. I mean, like he said, he's explaining some hardships he's going through dealing with his license. It's not always cheap to get it back, but
could you imagine if LAPD and sheriff did this?
especially unfortunately when you're not following traffic.
Be wild.
So.
It would be wild. I don't think they realize how they could create their own show. Don't need a production company. Start doing this.
Yeah.
Create transparency so everybody can really see in real time what's happening. And then you literally are getting, I don't know, 5 to 10 million clicks on every video within even just the first week, and making 10, 15,000 on every video. You're doing that daily with 20 videos. You're talking millions and millions of dollars with endless content, with click value just forever. The endless click value that they would end up, all these frivolous lawsuits, they would end up paying that off with just this.
Like I told him, I don't care where you
And
are.
it's like almost, it's there right in front of their face, and they just waste they waste it. But the reason they waste it is because of the liability on some of the cops who are bad. Obviously. That's why. So, I get it. All right, we'll go back to these ding-dongs. They're almost done. But, they're really just doing a eulogy. Well, wait a sec here. All right, Aqua, see you on the next one. Enjoy your day. That's a whole nother thing, too, coming to America, right? If you know that somebody's watching you, you're going to act different. You're going to approach different. Especially if the public starts to know that way. So when they start to act a fool, they can't really just go into court and just ask for anything, and that's that. Oh, these dickheads are done. So they got out of... And did Homie talk today? Oh, he did talk today a little bit. So that's it. They've adjourned for the day. These ding-dongs are done for the day. Done for the day. That's it. They get to go home. Done for the day. Done for the day. And see the night rain of... look at the doggy, too. A little bit of rain there in Amsterdam. Everybody out and about. A few people still out and about enjoying their night. There's silent death right there, guys. That's the train I'm telling you. You better watch out. That fucking thing will hit you. So, I mean, you don't really realize the tracks. And it's quiet as fuck. And they ain't stopping for you. So they'll fucking smash your ass up. He was in the way. What do you want? What do you want me to do? He's on the tracks. So be careful. Smoking on that gelato cake, Jonah. So it's really nice. Live shot in the Rizane. In the rain. What time is it right now? Shit, I've been off for a minute. That was a long fucking one. Normally they're not that long. Normally they're not that long. How many bikes in that canal? Oh, just fools ghost riding them and throwing them in there? Probably quite a few. There's probably a few cars in there. One could only assume. There's probably a lot of shit in that canal. The canal is dirty. That water's filthy. Like, it's filthy. It's not clean. It's not. I'm telling you, if you fell in that bitch, you'd be rushing to get out. It's the color of Willy Wonka's chocolate river, and it's not appeasing. It's like that. It's pretty bad. It's like green and murky and a little brown. But it doesn't stink or anything like that. So it's appeasing to be on. It's just, if you fell in it, you wouldn't want to go swimming around in it. Notice that nobody's jumping off anything going in it, right? It's not like clean river water. So I don't think you could fish in there. I don't think there's many fish anyways. There's too much movement in there. There's too many things. The houseboats are really cool, man. There's boats that are just so, like, literally they can open their window and it's like 6 inches where you could just put your hand out of your window and put it in the water. You're that close. Like Ducey, what was his name? Eddie Griffin's fucking flow crib and Deuce Bigelow too. That shit's for real. Baller ass fools living right in the canal, not on the canal, in the canal. You know what I mean? A Roman bath. Treasure bath. was dirty in '87. Yeah, I mean, it's only getting filthy. I don't think there's a way to really clean it. As soon as it gets filthy, it's filthy. I mean, dude, trust me, it'd be still nice to have like a flat right here. Nice apartment right here overlooking the canal and shit. Be nice. You know, open your window up, blaze your weed, fucking enjoy a nice meal. Shit's nice. Sorry, stanks. I'm scared stinks. All right, guys. Well, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me for the City Madness, LA City Council Madness. Now, they'll be on again Friday, and so will I for both shows. The early, we'll do 10 a.m. Friday. And then we'll do Friday night as well. It should be interesting, too, Friday, because you notice again, guys, we watched an extra long City Council meeting, and not one of them brought up the kids. Not one of them brought up the fact that the biggest, I want to say LAUSD is the biggest school district in the country. So that's how big it is. They're talking almost 500,000 kids that can't go to school. The bus drivers, the custodians, teachers, they're all on strike. These motherfuckers don't care about nothing. Well, we just hope we support them and we hope that things get done. And where's the fucking mayor? To help the shit along. I mean, this shit's wild. New York's bigger? Okay. So then but you look, it's huge. It's not a little district. It's huge. So it's just fucking wild, dude. It's just wild that they don't even give two fucks. And that's your future. That's our future. That's even my future. I don't have a kid. Okay. But that's my future. When I get older, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to be running the country when I need the help? When I'm a senior citizen. You know what I mean? They are the future. They truly are, man. And it's so fucking sad that they just don't even give two fucks. Busy over here literally banning Skittles and literally banning Sour Patch Kids. That's what their time spent doing. Not helping the strike along. It's just wild, dude. It's just wild. They're busy patting themselves on the back, telling you how awesome they did. She's the pioneer of this, that, and the other. The RV parks. I ain't seen one goddamn RV park. I need to go to District 7. We need to go live. Like Jeremy and I need to roll through that bitch and all the streets. And I want to see. We'll see. We'll call her out and see what's up. It's just ridiculous, dude. It's a fucking clown world. It's a straight clown world. The motherfuckers who have this delusion. These delusions of grandeur, they actually think they're so delusional that they think they're getting things done that they're not even getting done. They're getting nothing done, patting themselves on the back, taking money for it, and then you have to hear their bullshit, their little spiel about how awesome they're doing. It's wild. Me and my team, go team. Who is your team? Pull them out here so I can fucking stick my finger in all their fucking faces. And I mean every last one of them. I mean, goddamn. Enough's a goddamn enough. All right, guys. I could sit here forever and talk about those fucking scumbags, but I won't. I don't want to ruin your day because I love you guys. You guys have a fantastic hump day. Thank you so much for joining me because I know, like I always say, you could be joining anybody. You could spend your time doing anything, but you didn't. You spent it with me and us, and I appreciate that. So, have a fantastic hump day. On behalf of Stink Bomb, who is not on the camera right now, he is right there. On behalf of that guy right there, and myself, we're out of here. I'll see you Friday morning, unless there's a chase.
Hasta la vista, baby.
There you go. I'm going home.